Wayfarers, episode 12. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm joined by Mendax, I'm joined by Nigel, I'm joined by the Goblin King himself, and Khaal is probably out in the woods somewhere. Khaal, come and get over here. We're about to start with Wayfarers. It's good to have you here. Last time, what happened? Yeah, it's a tough one this time because they entered into a dwarven vault. A vault with treasures unknown to the whole wide world. Because anyone who goes into the vault forgets everything that happened inside. The three adventurers got three amazing items. Where will it lead them on their quest here in Tol Karabad? Find out right now.
Okie dokie. Great to see all of us back once again for the, I believe this is episode 12 of Wayfarers now. I think this is episode 12 if I'm not mistaken. But one way or another, great to see you all. Hope everyone had an awesome 2 weeks off from D&D, but we are back with the next episode, next installment. Yeah, we had quite a fun one last time. Does anybody want to go over what we did or what happened? A little synopsis. I remember. I just want to see if you guys remember.
I didn't mean to hurt Mendax with the weapon. That was an accident. We were testing something, yes. And we did learn. So
that's fair. Right. I did ask for it.
Yes.
So
I'm very happy personally. The weapon that I have now, I don't know what other weapons there were inside that vault, but the scythe, it really just goes with my aesthetic. What are the chances?
As does my incredible necklace, the necklace that turns me into a bit of a mist that things usually can't hit, but, sometimes doesn't work out that way. But at the right moment, I think that necklace is going to be a lifesaver, honestly. I don't think I would have chosen anything else.
Let's not forget Nigel's amazing item. What did you get?
I got a spoon.
Wait, sorry, a what?
Spoon.
Lovely spoon.
I'm sure it has magical properties of some sort. Right now, it's being kept safe, though. Very safe.
Yes.
So it's a spoon. Probably the most powerful, The most unassuming objects and characters are sometimes the most powerful. It's a spoon.
Sometimes they're also exactly what they look like.
That's a spoon of destruction, potentially. Could be. It's quite shiny.
Not anymore. Not with where you're keeping it.
The greatest spoon of cereal consumption.
Well, I mean, since I did store it in my in my loincloth, I am no longer using it for cereal consumption. Its role has changed. It did not seem to add more nutrients to the food as I thought it might.
Wait, so what is its role now if it's not to scoop food?
It's armor, based on what it has.
Okay, so you have to pick which one down there is your favorite then? Or is it large enough?
Well, it's not always a question of how large is the spoon. Sometimes it's how small what its covering is. But
we've been live for less than 3 minutes. I didn't even do anything this time. I didn't even say anything. All I asked is what happened, and we're already on to.
We're just setting the tone.
Armor.
Setting the tone here.
Yeah, we're just getting that one as early as possible.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I'm glad everyone remembers all of the highlights of last episode. Yes, you guys got to each pick out an illustrious item from the fabled Vault of the Dwarves, kept hidden in secret, even to the denizens of Tol Karabad. You had to go through lots of different passageways, lots of different mysterious stairwells and hidden doors in order to find it. You each came out with your own artifact. Khaal got the scythe. Ash Mendax got that nice amulet, and Nigel got his spoon. The only other thing of I guess if we want to cliff notes it, Nigel's leg has been attended to, but is still pretty slow to heal. So they did estimate that's going to take some bit more time to heal as well. But where we left off, we can just jump right back in. you guys settled down for the night in your own respective rooms with your guards kind of stationed outside. Mendax and Khaal, you did your experiment, I guess, if you want to call it that, where you were trying to test out how the amulet works. I may have made an interjection so that you don't kill her by hitting her with the other side of the scythe instead of the bladed end. I don't know. But it didn't work. So again, just as a refresher for how magic items can work, you guys do have this knowledge. Some of them only, they have like a limited number of activations per day. Some of them have a limited number of activations ever. Nigel, your wizard, certainly would have told you this as you guys were making your way back up. So you surmise either that you have used up the single charge that is on that item forever, or that it will possibly come back in the next day or so. Only time will really tell. But you guys settle down for the night. Is there anything that you want to do, very last minute things before you guys head off to sleep? Nigel, I think you were pretty much all set, but kind of just a last minute thing if there's anything you want to do.
Nigel's all good.
Okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
Of the new weapon, I don't see it in my equipment.
I'll add it for you.
Superb. I'm a little bit
Superb.
excited. I was admiring it, you know.
Yes, no worries. So I think for you, yeah, I'll go ahead and add it to your equipment, and I'll equip it for you. You might have to refresh in order for it to come up, but I can do that as you guys explain if there is anything else you want to do. Mendax, anything specific, or Khaal, you have anything you want to do?
I think I want to rub my head gingerly and then go lie down.
You do so. It hurt quite a bit. Khaal is a very strong burb, and even when he's holding back at trying to not hurt his friends, he can only hold back his strength so much.
There's a reason I stand in
and-
the front and hit stuff. That's my jam.
Absolutely. So, Khaal, are you all set then as well after we get this added to your inventory, or how are we feeling?
Yes, I'm rather tired, but also feeling at ease and accomplished. Sort of like there was a part of me that was lost with the halberd, but then I found myself in a sort of way just as my own bird. But then having a weapon, 10-foot reach is pretty good. And I'm curious to see what this thing can do, especially after we figure out this, there were ravens or bats or something that were floating about around it. I'm kind of curious about that. I would be contemplating that before I get my rest.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have certainly heard of magic items that have done even stranger things. I mean, you're not overly well versed in, magic to the point that Nigel would be, but you are actually proficient in Arcana. So this kind of fits with some research that you have done or some experience that you do have in your life. You've heard of magic items that can level cities. You've heard of fabled legendary artifacts that exist in the world that can summon, interplanar demons, things like that. I mean, there are items that go way beyond the scope of what you have now. But then there are also very, 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 very mundane and simple magic items that do common house chores and things like that, or plates that never get dirty. I mean, really, the range of it is pretty wide. So you definitely can, rationalize the sort of properties of this item that you have. But if you guys are all set, then we'll just say that you head to sleep for the night. The captain said he would talk to you all tomorrow about seeing the Rock Eater, which is your kind of your main reason for coming to Tol Karabat in the first place. You guys got kind of wrangled onto this side quest, or 2 or 3 or 4, but now you're here. Now you can finally start getting some answers. So y'all rest for the night. Each of you rest very, very well. The beds are again, they're not overly elegant, they're not overly fantastic, but they're very comfortable. You're very happy to be just rested up again. You wake to the same kind of situation that you did the first time. Each of you has kind of a plate of morning types of food, some bread, some different types of meats, water, some cheeses that you guys can kind of graze on at your leisure. And then when you're well and ready, you're more than welcome to meet up. You do see as well, if you recall from yesterday, your equipment was taken. That has been returned in kind of a nice, neat, folded stack at the end of your bed. That's kind of on a chest there. So if you want to, you can re-equip all your items, get everything kind of situated again. It's been cleaned to the best of the dwarves' abilities to do so. Some of the grime and muck is just unfortunately stained in your clothes forever. I think Nigel still has Alleluia Jackson's shoes. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
wearing them right now. White. They
Yeah.
are a pair of brilliant white shoes.
Brilliant white, and they have remained immaculately brilliant white through all of your adventures. That's the only thing they didn't clean, and they still look perfect. But yeah, you guys are happy to do that. When you're well and ready, if you guys want to meet up and then head to the captain's office, you can see him about the rock eater, the legendary creature.
I'm all
And
for
I'm
it.
just finishing it.
Yes, I'm up. I'm ready to go. I'll just go ahead and go out into the hallway and start calling for Khaal and Nigel.
What?
Oi!
Yes.
What?
Are you awake?
What?
Are you up?
What?
Khaal!
Yes?
Are you there?
Yes?
Are you awake?
What?
Are you awake?
Yes?
But are you there? Is this Khaal?
Yes?
I fling my door wide open and kind of stumble out. What are you idiots yelling about?
What?
What?
Yes.
Huh?
I would like to open the door and come out now. What the heck do you want?
Aren't you ready to go yet?
Oh, sure. Why didn't you say so?
Okay, good. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get my things then.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone has their...
It's hard to make progress in Dungeons and Dragons
It
sometimes.
can be hard to make progress at times. But I can never say that I'm not entertained when we have one of our sessions.
12
that's for
episodes
sure.
in and we're still in the starting town because they can't get Cole out of his room. What?
Just come out of the room. Yeah, you guys all meet up. You have a very pleasant and wonderful breakfast. You're all refreshed. Nigel, your leg. We'll actually cover that first. Once again, the cleric that was helping you yesterday, if you recall, the son of Colarbril, tended to your leg again this morning. So he knocked to enter. Came into the room and sort of looked once again at your leg. It does look improved, you know, with every application of this sort of herb mash, if you will. But it's almost like the texture of like gravel. It's kind of concerning. You've never been injured quite to this extent before. And so it kind of freaks you out a little bit. It does still hurt to walk around, but you can manage it. You're certainly not in any sort of condition right now to, you know, go sprinting around, enter combat. Still those issues would be very apparent. You can in an emergency for sure, but you will suffer negatives from having to do so. He does surmise it's probably going to take another possibly even up to 2, maybe even 3 weeks to fully heal your leg back to normal. And you're familiar in some ways with healing magic, you know, sort of the shortcut catch-all. And they could cast spells, they could heal your leg using magic, and to a certain extent they are. That this herb mash is not all natural. They are kind of enhancing it with some magic and things like that. But as close to just letting your body heal as normal that they can do is what's preferred, because it's going to heal back stronger and it's going to look better. If they kind of have to cut all these shortcuts, sure, they might be able to get you going a lot sooner, but if you run into injuries again, these kinds of things have a tendency to come up. So if you can spare the time, they do recommend taking the slow route to recovery.
So what you're saying is, if there were to be a chasm of some size before us, then instead of him jumping, he should probably be thrown.
Definitely.
Yes.
I mean, if you had to span that chasm within the next 2 weeks, yes, you probably would have to throw Nigel. And I mean, hey, maybe we'll go 2 for 2 on fun chasm adventures.
Fun, yes. I believe I do have an aversion, actually, and I've sworn to avoid the gash for future after my past very negative experiences. Near death.
Nigel doesn't like gash. Does not like gashes. Confirmed.
I thought we made it out of their time.
Yeah, I mean, we're all still here. I don't know why you keep, whinging about it.
Because we all almost died, and
Not I,
very well
not
could
I.
have.
I made it over just fine.
She did, actually. I think there was even a front flip involved.
There's a few somersaults. I think like a triple sour cow backflip.
And you did
splits
stick the landing, didn't you?
I did stick the landing.
That was good. We felt
There was
we just fell
Simon-
straight in.
Yeah, you definitely got marks off for your landings, for sure.
Yeah.
Do we know what these herbs on his legs smell like? I feel like at this point he might be fairly pungent.
I mean, yeah, they're not like gross. It's not like, oh, bud, you need to take a few steps away from me. It smells medicinal, really. It kind of, there's a lot of like sage kind of sense to it as
good.
well. You get the sense that they probably have some herbs in there that are to cover up the smell of like his wound as well, because it essentially spans his whole calf, so that will eventually take on a scent of its own. But no, the herbs, they don't have a bad smell to it. It's medicinal. I would say it's really neither here nor there.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, for me, I'm quite used to it, so I don't even notice. Back when I was a young boy, Master Nivix actually sometimes would take me down to the alchemists for supplies, for all sorts of spells, and I mean, he always would do it when I wasn't watching, but he would always stock up on his supply of powdered dragon horn, and we all know what that's for.
Yes, we do. Certainly, everyone knows what powdered dragon horns used
But what
for
if
in
they
this world.
what if they don't, Apop?
I don't know what that means. What is that?
Yeah, Carl doesn't know.
I mean,
Ah,
let's just say
that's
if
because
you
he's a
have
strong
to...
Kenku barbarian. He would never need such things.
No.
Oh.
Let's just say if you have to ask, you'll never know.
I see.
That's not true because he goes to bird orgies all the time.
Every Sunday.
Right, so the captain is ready for you guys to speak to. Man, corralling cats today, I tell you what. You guys remember how to get down to his office, his back alley office, if you will. You guys meet up, head over there, knock on the door, and enter. The captain is once again sitting behind his sort of desk area, shuffling through different papers at the time. He looks up and, oh, hello, and nice to see you all.
It's good to see you too. We are very pleased with our pickups from the amazing vault, and we wanted to inquire about Mr. Rock Eater, and if and when we may speak with him.
That's right. I forgot the Rock Eater. And he kind of puts a couple papers down, opens his desk drawer, and he pulls out a key ring with several different kind of keys looped all around it. Well, I don't know what your morning plans are, but if you're ready, we could go now.
I'm all for it.
Yes, I've nothing else planned. Nigel, do you have anything booked?
No, but I do need to pick up the goop from the golem smith at some point. Do you have any idea how long it would take them to repair him?
He'll kind of, oh, yeah, right, and then go back over to his desk. He'll pick up a piece of paper and he'll hand it to you. It's like a receipt or like a some kind of we have your stuff acknowledgement piece of paper. So receipt's probably the best word for it. He says, just take this to him. It should be done in the next day or so.
Fantastic.
He'll kind of look at you all, and if everyone looks ready to go, he'll head out the door. Nigel, you're able to keep up walking along with everybody at a decent pace. After a little bit of time, it does become a little bit troublesome to keep up, and so the group, sensing that, does slow their pace a little bit. But by no means are you guys making bad time. It's just you're kind of leisurely strolling, we'll say. Yeah. This time he does not lead you guys through back alleys and back entrances. You immediately almost take a door that is leading out of the hallway. So he opens a door and it sort of slides out of place. You can get the sense that this is another one of those almost false walls. Nigel, once again, you get that like familiar kind of tinge of magic that you feel permeate around the air once this wall slides out of way. But again, you're not really able to specifically identify the moving pieces to this spell or this enchantment. And you guys walk out, and you're immediately met with a completely different view from what you guys have been accustomed to for the past couple days. This is your first view of Tol Karabad, the city, the actual city that everyone sees. You all have been in the sort of service entrances, the tunnels, if you will. This is the grand city. You are off to the side in what is essentially a grand circular plaza. You can see in front of you that there are two mighty statues of dwarves, kind of at least plated in what looks like solid gold, both of them wielding these massive warhammers in the sky. The immensity of the city itself is kind of staggering. You kind of forgot how big this kingdom was that you guys were staying in. To the right and left of the dwarf statues, there are these sort of waterfalls of lava that are going down into like a pit underneath, and grates in different kind of passageways that go over this immense pool of lava that's beneath the city. You see different dwarves, different humans, gnomes, all sorts of different people and races walking around the city. It doesn't look like it's as busy as it would normally be, but you attribute that to the fact that they did just come out of essentially what would be a quarantine, and there's more than likely people that are still recovering or keeping their distance or what have you. But there is a lot of people. There's already, you can tell, just many times more people than the cities that you've been staying in so far. Specifically like Lakewood and Inderith, those towns had populations of maybe 100 tops. I mean, you've probably already seen 100 people pass by you just in the minute that you're sort of marveling at everything. Just because I want to really explain what this city looks like to you guys, I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. There are shops that are like carved into the wall. So it's not like a city in so much sense that there are buildings that are placed around everywhere, but everything exists in like the floor plan of this city. And you can see that there are passageways and stairways that travel up the wall. And so the shops and the domiciles are more vertically placed as opposed to horizontally. And it's pretty packed tightly close together. So shops often share a wall with each other. You can see that they're all made out of that same really nice sort of this black and gray, almost granite slab stone. That's what the walls are made out of. Even though there is that sort of pit of lava that seems to be in the middle and walkways that span across it, the heat doesn't really radiate up through the city. It's a very comfortable temperature. It's not cold, but it's certainly not even close to the heat that you guys were feeling when you were traveling in the boats. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we'll say for now. Again, a work of just marvelous stonework. Like the precision, the detail. It seems like everything has its perfect place. Everything fits in. Nothing feels like it shouldn't be there. It's again just very stunning to behold. The captain doesn't really pay any mind. He kind of keeps walking along before he looks over his shoulder and realizes you guys have stopped. And it kind of, yeah, welcome to Soul Caravan.
You know, it really is amazing how the dwarves simultaneously capture the grand aspect of such a mighty city with sturdy construction, but also a cozy, homely feel, where you are warmed and you feel safe in this place.
Yep.
Do you have dogs, Master Dwarf? Do people here have lots of pets?
I mean, yes. People have pets sometimes. Dogs, cats, birds. We don't really have any limitations.
I'm wondering, where do you take them to shit?
He'll like, outside.
You have to go all the way. Wait. Outside the entire city.
He'll kind of put a hand on your shoulder, which is kind of like he has to reach up. I'm just joking with you. There's gardens and things like that in the city. We're not savages here. We have, a waste disposal system.
That's just impressive. Sorry, just first thing I thought of. I love dogs.
Fair enough.
Captain, what are your thoughts on or the attitudes here in this locality towards humanoid petship? Only dogs, or at what point is there a line drawn? And goblins, perhaps? Is there any sort of loose boundaries there that may be different to the towns that we've come from?
So I'll give you this information, and then I'll let you decide if you want to ask the same question. Slave ownership and things like that is even of like lesser races like goblins, orcs, and whatnot is not very looked highly upon in the entirety of the world. So you would know that they probably would not keep slaves. But if you want to ask that, I will let you. You let me know.
Yes, I'm curious to find out if they're like super weird and they have some sort of odd relationship with any humanoid or subhumanoid species.
I don't know if I'm understanding your question properly, young man, but no, we don't have any slaves here. Even goblins. Rat little bastards.
Whoa.
That does make sense.
We did some nice work for a goblin we met on the road. He paid us fairly for carrying some crates.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're not all bad, but, well, we have problems with the greenskins here sometimes.
Well, there are bad people of all kinds and good people of all kinds. That's my opinion.
Some are greasier than others, though.
That is true.
That's
The
true.
grease is real.
Well, the oil on the feathers helps the water slide off more easily.
No, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Nigel's hair.
Oh.
Were we not talking about Nigel's hair?
It's greasy?
Yeah,
What do you
your
mean?
hair, it's fine. No, I'm
Talking about goblins and those
No, we
greasy,
were what?
greasy balls of grease.
Oh, Captain,
I'm not.
did you say something?
I'm not greasy like a goblin.
No, you guys were just discussing how you were calling his hair greasy like a goblin. I didn't say anything.
You know, dog shit everywhere here. That's interesting.
I like how we're going through the most grand city we've been in our lives, or at least in our time together as a team, and your first question is, where did the dogs poop?
Okay, but I'm picturing lots of
It's an important
stone.
question, to be honest.
Lots of stone. That is a mess. It's a mess.
It's true. I swear
Not
to
in a
not
large-
shit on the floor.
That's good. Yes, please don't.
Also, I don't think anyone is surprised about this turn of conversation. We were talking about bird orgies instead of going into the secret dwarf treasure hold last time.
It's very true. This I know what my party is concerned with, and it's not treasure. It is not
Treasure is knowledge and conversation and connections amongst band members. That's the treasure is the friends we made along the way.
I thought
Yeah.
you said it was pants.
And also shoes.
Yeah.
The dwarf captain will. I kind of have some stuff I gotta do later. Either we gotta move on, or we can go later if you want. No rush. Just there's a lot of people that need tending to today.
We're good. We're a very distractible bunch. Sorry. We may proceed.
It's all fine.
While we walk, I'm not sure if you as a soldier know too much about dwarven engineering, but I have heard that the sewer systems and that your engineers have built here are some of the grandest in the world. And in fact, your engineers are really the ones who brought them to humankind and other species and races as well. Do you know much about the engineering underneath the city? The steam vents for heating and the sewerage systems, anything of that like? Or is it not your area of expertise?
I have no fucking idea how any of that works, young man. I fight people. I lead the city as best I can. I shit in the toilet like everyone else. If you're really curious about it, I'm sure I can find someone for you to talk to.
No worries, good sir. I mean, I'm sure Khaal here doesn't know how to make a halberd from scratch. I would not be able to craft a wand. They are just tools to us, and there is much in this world not known. Let us go on and meet the Rock Eater.
Fair enough. Are we good? Do we want to talk about poop anymore? I'm ready to talk about it. I have notes written if we need to.
Do you actually?
In the future, make sure you design the sewerage system and understand the way it's engineered. Damn it, PM. What the hell?
Folly. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's just, let's cancel today. My bad. We need to.
No, it's awful. We're a bit scat brained tonight.
Good God. Now the puns have started. Okay. I will continue on. But I'll make up some shit on the spot if I need to.
Ooh, make up shit. All the shit. And poop.
So he will lead you through the kind of epicenter of the city, which you gather to be those two mighty statues that are sort of kind of just risen up on these pillars almost out of the pool of lava that's beneath the city. It's kind of like a nice focal point of everything. You can tell that the city works in like circular rings, basically. And he'll lead you through. He'll point out a couple of different, like, oh yeah, that shop over there. You can grab all the nice utensils. You might see if that spoon's worth anything. And then here's the tavern. Some really great ale. Thursdays they do buy one get one free. It's basically a holiday every Thursday in the city.
What
and
day of the week is it?
Oh, it's Wednesday.
We didn't miss it. Okay, sorry.
And yeah, he'll point out different little details here and there. He gets really specific about some of the random kind of details too, about like, oh yeah, that shop over there, the rocks on it weren't perfect. The stone smithing on it was just slightly less quality than all the other ones, and it was made fun of for having like the lowest lowest level of craftsmanship of the whole city until it was fixed. But yes, you guys will walk through at a nice leisure pace. Again, you do see quite a number of different people. This is the most diverse city you guys have been in so far. It is primarily dwarves, but there are, once again, just to reiterate, there are humans. You guys see tieflings. You guys see some Kenku, some other avian races as well. The Arakakra, I think the other one is called. Pulling deep on my knowledge here. Yes. Arakakra is what it's called, Mendax.
I didn't say. I said nothing. I said
yes,
nothing.
but I'm starting to understand what happens in your mind. And you do even see the odd orc and goblin. It's again more rare. They're probably the rarest that you've seen, but they are walking around and pretty much well, broad daylight, whatever you want to call it. But regardless, he will take you through the city until you guys reach one of the outer edges, essentially, where the shops have kind of stopped. It's now more of the, I don't know if back alley is really the right way to put it, but it's more of the domiciles where people live. It's their houses. And he takes you to what looks to be a more abandoned area and up to a kind of blank wall. Sort of one of the outer walls of the city is what it seems like. And he'll lead you over to the right so that you're out of view of the rest of the populace, although there's no one nearby. But he does take extra time to really look around, really check, really make sure that there's no one nearby. A group of dwarves will walk by and he'll kind of just look like he'll kind of just do some idle chit chat with you guys. Not proceeding forward. You can tell, obviously, he wants to be just your group isolated when he does whatever he's about to do. After that group passes by, he'll kind of look left and right again, and then he'll go up to the blank wall and he'll take out his keys. And he'll kind of thumb through the different keys that he has on there. They're all different shapes, all different sizes. Some of them are very simple, like the stereotypical 3-pronged is at the end. Some of them have these really strange looking almost contraptions on the end where they have multi sort of jutted points that are coming out. And he stops on one and pushes it into the wall. And as he pushes the key into the wall, the hole for the key seems to appear and the stone dissolves away from where the key is entering the wall. And so he turns it, and you hear a click, and then kind of an even louder series of clicks happening behind that. He then will take he'll take his hand and he'll push in a series of stones at a specific pattern. And once he's done about 5 or 6 of these bricks, kind of pushing them into the wall, the rest of the bricks around it, forming an entryway, will also press in and then lower down into the floor, revealing a pathway in front of you guys. So a very complicated series of maneuvers and keys needed in order to reveal one more even secret wall in the city. He'll come on, be quick. It'll raise up in a moment. And he'll kind of head down. And you guys will follow after him. Sure enough, the door does raise up behind you guys pretty quickly afterwards. So if you lingered around for too long, you would have probably been locked out on the other side. You guys are now in essentially pitch dark, like just a pitch black hallway. I forgot about the. Hold on, and he'll you can hear him patting around on the wall near him until you hear I don't know, the sound of a torch moving from a scaffold. I don't know what sound that is. And he'll sit on the ground with the torch, and he's trying to light it using a little flint and tinder. But he's having a little bit of a hard time. You see the sparks flying in the darkness, illuminating the area around you guys temporarily. Fucking.
Oh my god, watch your mouth.
Would you like a hand, good sir?
Yeah, sure. And he'll hand the tinder and flint up to you. you gonna do
My
like
most- My most controlled firebolt.
All right, so you're gonna firebolt it. Firebolts can only be controlled to like a certain degree because they still have to be a firebolt at the end of the day. Do you have let's see. No, firebolt's like your weakest fire spell you have. So yeah, that'll probably be the one. It's not gonna make an explosion or anything like that, but it'll certainly seem a little over the top as a bolt of fire screams through the air and smashes into the torch. It does send it clattering out of his, like, he kind of had it propped up on his feet. It'll go clattering down the stairs a little bit, but it'll be on fire. Oh, jeez. Warn me first. Sorry.
I'm sorry. The last one of these in combat, I was maybe about 15th as useful as that. So I wasn't quite expecting it to be so powerful. If only they were that reliable when we were fighting gigantic spider queens that have been had their brains co-opted by mushrooms and are trying to murder us. But they can't always be so lucky. Sorry about that. Next time I'll perhaps use a bonfire or something a little bit more controlled.
Oh my goodness, that wood of yours, the things that come from it, quite unpredictable.
Fire.
Come on.
Fire. So we can see now. Thank you, Nigel, for lighting the torch.
No worries.
The torch has been lit. The captain gets up off of the ground and walks over to retrieve the torch. The passageway that you guys are in is fairly dusty. It smells kind of musty. Like no one has really been in here. It's stale air. There's not a lot of airflow that's going on over here. It's by no means is there like no oxygen or anything like that, but you could tell that this is not a very well-traveled section of the city. Even the service tunnels and corridors that you guys were staying in smelled, I don't know, fresher, I suppose. This just, it's a little dusty. You can also see that is accompanied by some spider webs that are on the ceiling and the sides. The torch itself had a bit of cobwebs on it too. That is very unusual. You've seen nothing that seems like it's been that untouched for that long in this city so far. But you guys carry on. Nothing too serious. And he walks you down yet again another series of kind of pathways. This looks like it's basically an abandoned section of the city, similar in style to those service tunnels that you guys were in before, where your guys' rooms are at, but nobody's here. There's no lights. There's no dwarves patrolling. There are doors, but you can see half of them are open. When the light passes by, again, you can see there's various like desks and things like that, stuff they were too lazy to move out or didn't need for any other purpose that have essentially been abandoned. It's a little bit creepy, but you're with the dwarf captain. This is his city, but it's a little eerie. You can feel the darkness kind of pressing on your guys' back, and so your combat senses sort of kick in a little bit, and they, you're on guard. Let's put it that way. And he'll lead you down the hallway for what seems to be about 15-20 minutes or so. Just very similar scenes on either side. Cobwebs, abandoned rooms, papers, dust, the whole menagerie of different left behind belongings, essentially, until you reach another similar stairwell to the one that you guys went down when you were going to the vault. This one was not hidden behind any kind of door or anything like that. But you guys do head down yet another spiral staircase and into more darkness. If you want to feel more comfortable, there are more torches on the sides of the hallways that you guys can light, but you are able to see just fine with just one. Does anybody want to have a torch, or are you all pretty fine with just the captain having one?
No, I'm fine.
Good with him having one. I have dark vision.
Okay.
Samesies. Must suck to not have dark vision.
And yet I have faith in the captain. I simply follow along.
Okay, good. So yeah, you guys head down the spiral stairway. Again, very similar to the one that you went down on the other side of the kingdom in last session, but except for when you reach the bottom, instead of opening up into this kind of giant grand hallway, it's a small hallway that leads to a singular door. And he'll hand the torch to Khaal, and he'll go, "Yep, there you go. It's in there."
It? Isn't it a person?
Yeah. Well, like, yes, and then, like, no. It's very confusing.
Why is he out here? This seems very impractical to get to this place.
He can't stand the light.
Oh. Should
Forgot how hard this voice was.
Should we not have this torch then? Is this going to be a problem?
Well, he's never really complained about it before. It's just the overabundance of light.
I see. Well, do you have any advice on interacting with this creature aside from no bright lights?
Keep it brief.
Very good. I'm a Kenku, we go fast. Shouldn't be a problem. Unless we start talking about poop again.
Alright.
Well, thank you for escorting us here. We'll go see what this rock eater has for us in terms of information.
Yeah. Who has the rock, by the way? The ore? I think it's, what is it, Nigel?
Nigel.
Let me check my backpack. It should still be here. Yes, mystery purple ore.
Mystery purple ore. Perfect. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Is there any particular, I mean, this might be overdoing it. Is there any particular line that you would like to go in? Khaal first, then Nigel, or how do you guys want to enter the room?
Khaal has the torch, so I feel like he should go in first, and I'll go in behind him. I'm assuming Nigel will wait to be last.
Yes, I'm
Only
always in
because
the
his leg
rear
is
with the
injured.
gear.
Yeah.
In rear with the gear. Perfect. Yeah, you guys, you walk down the hallway. It's not a particularly long hallway, but for one reason or another, you get the sense that it takes you longer to reach the door than you expected it to. It's kind of a small detail, but it sticks out in your head that it is taking you a lot longer to actually reach the entrance of this doorway. Khaal, let's each of you real quick actually roll me a what would be the appropriate one for this? Roll me a wisdom save. Give me a wisdom save.
12.
Mm-hmm.
12.
Okay.
Wait, we all doing a wisdom save?
Yeah. Everyone wisdom save.
Oh, 18.
18. Okay, you all passed the save, but you can feel almost like an icy aura permeating from this room. It tries to... you get a feeling of dread that starts to overcome you, but you quickly are able to kind of resolve yourself. You have faced much more difficult and scary situations than this, but you can't help the nagging feeling in the back of your head that this is not right, or this is out of place. Something doesn't feel correct. But you press on regardless, each of you in your own way, coming to terms and rationalizing that this is what you need to do for your mission to figure out what's going on. So you press forward. Khaal, you enter the room first. You take a step in, and that icy aura sort of gets exponentially more intense. You now feel as if you could see your breath in front of you, which you most likely would be able to do had your torch not just gone out. So it is now very dark. It's pitch black in this room as each of you step in. And the two dark vision characters You are actually blind in this darkness. You don't get a sense of any sort of shape that's in front of you. It's an unnatural darkness, to put it in a easy way to understand. Something is actively blocking your vision in this room.
I'm going to reach out and put my hand on Carl's shoulder in front of me. Like we're two girls going through a club and you don't want to get separated by all the fucking creepers in the ocean there. So hand on Carl's shoulder.
I feel a
And
presence.
I'm going to reach back. I'll put my other hand backwards for Nigel. But like keeping it up above the waist. Because obviously not trying to steal a spoon.
Absolutely. Khaal, as this very intense aura and tension overcomes you, you feel something tap your shoulder.
I feel some strange presence on my shoulder. Is that Mendax, or is that...
That's me. Don't worry. It's not Nigel. It's me.
Oh. Can you see very well?
I can't see a goddamn thing.
Okay, neither can I. I don't know what happened. The torch went out. I don't think I dropped it or did anything wrong. It may have
Is the
expired.
torch still in your hand?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah.
you didn't drop it then.
No.
Nigel, Nigel, where are you?
Don't have him light it. He can't see anything. He's gonna burn us to bits.
I don't want him to light it. I don't know what Nigel's at. I have my hand on you, but
as you guys are starting to get your, go ahead, Nigel. You tell me what you want to do.
I was simply going to just cast a minor illusion cantrip to amplify my voice, as I am very fond of doing, to about triple normal volume, just to kind of boom around the room a bit and say, "Hello, Rock Eater. We are friends. We come to seek an audience."
Yeah, this booming voice catches Khaal and Mendax, catches you guys surprised, very much so. Somebody basically just shouted right next to your ear extremely loudly. Again, about 3 times the normal volume a human would normally.
I feel like I would probably my arm that's not on Carl's shoulder just flies back, just reflexively.
Okay, Khaal, you get, sorry, Nigel, you get smacked in the face by a hand.
Oh my God,
which kind of puts a damper to your confident speech that you were going for here. You guys feel so much as less that you guys feel this less than you see it. A massive movement in the darkness in front of you. Again, you put your hand right up to your eyes. You can't tell how far away it is. It is pure darkness in front of you. And you just feel this massive shift in the air. The sort of atmosphere of the room has changed, and you can tell that something has moved. Okay, let's see how long we can do this for. You hear a voice come out from the darkness, and it will say, "Who is here in my room?"
We are 3 humble adventurers in service of Tol Karabad. We were sent on a mission for the city and were told that we could have an audience with you to ask about some rare ore that no blacksmith could understand.
You feel another shift in the darkness, almost as if something is now very close to you. You reach out because you feel almost each of you instinctively kind of reach out a little bit in front of you instinctively to see, like, you feel like something is right next to you, but it's just your hand catches nothing but the dark. And once again, you'll hear that voice.
Tasty rocks for me to eat.
And who has the ore again?
Yes, I've already got it out in my hand, and I am going to hold it forward in my hand and then quickly pull it back, place it on the ground, and I'm going to push it forward with my foot very bravely.
Perfect. Yes, so you hear the clatter of the stone on the ground, and then you hear almost again a bit of shuffling, a bit of clicking on the ground, even as something almost like talons or nails are clicking on the ground, and you hear a scrape as something picks up the ore. You are once again just greeted by a complete kind of silence, a total darkness, until that silence is broken after a few moments by a extremely kind of loud crack, almost like like lightning has pierced the sky. At the same time that this crack or crunch has happened, you see purple sparks kind of fly from the center of the room, and for a very, very brief instant, the figure, this creature, is lit up, just for a brief moment. What you see is this almost troll-like creature, the subdweller, if you will, eating the rock, eating the ore that you have. You see it between its teeth, and every time it crunches down, these purple sparks kind of fly off of it. Specifically, you each notice something different. Nigel, every time this purple sparks kind of fly out, there's only a few instances that this happen. You hone in and you kind of notice this thing's teeth, its mouth, its lips are like these wiry, thin, black pencil marks that are kind of just on this green, leathery face. Its teeth are a mixture of different sort of sharp-looking canines and really flat, like molars almost, but they're at different parts than a normal human's mouth would be. You have molars in the back, canines, and then your incisors, I think. These are almost randomly placed. It's flat, sharp, flat. It's all over the place. They're extremely worn, almost to the point where they are like a mixture of gray and yellow. Khaal, you notice this thing's hair specifically. The sparks fly up just enough for you to see kind of the top of its head. It's clumped, but in like a wiry black mess. There's grease that's sort of flattening the hair on this creature to the side of its face. And it mixes in almost as if it's like permanently cemented to the like leathery green and brown skin. Mendax, you notice the eyes of this creature specifically. They're cloudy white. Oh, and you see like pupils and irises there, but they're all hazed over and very cloudy, gray and white. There are also a mixture of rough scars that are kind of all marked over the eye sockets of this creature, that have definitely healed, but it looks like they could be self-inflicted. They could be some battle injuries. You're not exactly sure. And its leathery face, its skin, seems like it's like stretched over the bone structure of this creature. It's not a very pretty creature to behold, and if you were to see this thing in other circumstances, you might like engage in combat. Like, this thing looks like a monster. So you're all fairly taken aback by what such a thing would be doing in a civilized city like this.
Oh, great large rock eater. What did you think of the ore?
So after maybe like 3 kind of crunches, bites, chews, whatever you want to call it, again, it'll just go back to sort of this almost magically infused darkness, if you will. And it won't respond to you, Khaal, not directly anyways. Each of you give me another wisdom save. You can tell Nigel specifically that something is trying to communicate with you telepathically.
13.
Okay. What did you
23.
get, Mendax? Okay.
I mean, I am a theater girl, incredibly learned. And I got a 3.
Perfect. Khaal, you got a 13, is that right?
13.
Okay. Nigel, do you want to choose to fail this save and allow telepathic communication from something on the outside, or do you want you rolled well enough that your mental resolve is strong enough to refuse a connection if you choose?
I feel as though someone is opening a can.
I
What would you like to do?
I think I will embrace new experiences. This is a trusted beast. I will allow communication.
Okay, so Nigel, you allow the communication, and you're familiar with telepathy in a sense that, again, you're master. You understand what is happening very quickly. Khaal, Mendax, you guys, your minds sort of instinctively try to reject whatever communication this is. It's not natural. It's nothing that you guys have trained for before. So you don't really have too much of a say. It is overpowering, and for a few moments you have this very intense headache where your mind is essentially being controlled in a sense by something other than yourself. It's very unpleasant. It feels very unnatural. You feel very exposed and vulnerable, as you can tell that something is putting thoughts in your head. And it hurts. It doesn't feel very good. The more you resist, the more it kind of continues to hurt until you either give in or it's finished trying to convey whatever thing it's trying to tell you. Nigel, this is it's fine. It's not like again, you've gone through telepathy before, so you kind of are able to. It's not very pleasant, but it's fine. And this is the message that you all essentially simultaneously get. It's more of an idea than it's spoken word. You don't hear anything telling you these thoughts, but in the way that you can make sense of your own thoughts in your head, you form a complete picture, whether that's by flashes of images or just newly obtained kind of knowledge. You get the sense that the ore, the rock that you've given this creature in what is around your finger, is used as a battery. It is a storage vessel. It can hold energy. It can, if utilized in such a way, you can yeah, essentially a battery is the best way to explain it. This rock can be used to store energy and essence.
Did you all just get some very strange, overwhelming sense that this ore is used as a sort of battery that could take energy and absorb it in some capacity?
Almost exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how, but yes.
Did you do that, Nigel? Or was that the Rock Eater?
I believe that was the Rock Eater. I'm not sure. Rock Eater, do you understand how it works? It can be used to store essence. Have you ever seen anything like this ever before? I'm still confused at its purpose or exactly how it is used.
As you collect yourself and direct your attention back to the Rock Eater, you get the sense that you're talking just at the darkness. You feel alone. Where besides your two companions on either side of you, you feel that the room is empty. The sound doesn't quite hit the room in the same way that it did before when this hulking beast was in the middle. So you feel alone, and you do not hear a response. I will say specifically, Nigel, something about this feels. You can't put your finger quite on it, but it feels very familiar, as if you've read about something like this before. You'll have to do some research to jog your memory again, but this is a concept that is very familiar to you.
I'll relay that to these two. I'll need to consult the library of the dwarves and try to figure this out, but I don't know about you guys. I don't sense the rock eater being here anymore. Do you guys remember which way we came in from?
Isn't it back behind us?
I think it's behind us. But if he's not here, can we light the torch again?
It's still in Khal's hand. You can certainly try.
We could hand it to Nigel, and then he would know exactly where to on what surface he should explode.
We should also have him be aware of where we are so he doesn't shoot the fire at us as well.
Oh, yes. Good point.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the rock eater could dismember us if it chose to. It was huge and hulking and had mysterious powers, and it apparently hates the light. Even though I can't sense it here right now, I would rather not piss it off. How about we just daisy chain? I'm gonna kind of hold your shoulders, Mendax, and Mendax hold on to Khal's hand or shoulders, and I'm just gonna walk backwards exactly the way we came and feel my way around, and hopefully we can find our way out.
Sure.
Yeah, in sort of a reverse conga line, you guys are able to maneuver your way outside of the room. You didn't enter into the room very far, so you fairly quickly leave. The chilling sort of oppressive essence that was pervading around this area dissipates a bit. You still feel very unnerved. Khaal and Mendax, you feel off-put by the whole situation. The telepathy at the end kind of just being the creepy cherry on top, if you will. And it's gonna take you guys a little bit to kind of shake this weird feeling. But you guys leave the room. You're back in the hallway again. Nigel, if you try to light the torch with a firebolt or something of the such again, you find that it stays lit, and you see your companions as well as the captain at the end of the hallway.
Captain, what the hell was that? And was that a troll? What exactly was that rock eater?
Yeah, he'll nod and he'll shrug and he'll say, that's a really great question, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a mystery. We found it in the earth when we were digging. As we do, mining, we do have a few mines here, and our deepest one came upon this creature, gods, I don't know, ages ago. It's lived here ever since. It doesn't seem to need food or water or sunlight, but it has some tenacity or peculiarity towards rocks and ore. Some mystical creature, really. I couldn't tell you. The thing creeps me out, though. But it doesn't hurt anybody. And it's quite useful sometimes. I hope you got some good information.
It's something that's useful for sure. Still, just that was one of the creepiest experiences I've ever had, and I can only imagine it looked like it had scratched its eyes out or something. It ate a bloody rock. It lives underground. Apparently, it can instantaneously put the lights out in a room. Honestly, I thought it must be some sort of troll you'd fed some of serious potions to. It looked like a real warning sign for anyone who goes too hard on those potions, Khaal. I gotta say, be careful with what sort of alchemy you mix with.
he'll just say, "That was doing. Trust me." And he'll lead you guys back up and out the way you came. And if you have no other questions or you can talk to him all along the way as well. But he'll start heading back and take you guys back up to the city when you're done. Yeah, Nigel, you again.
What the shit was that?
I was just practicing
Well, I
my
guess-
rock eater impression. Sorry.
That's pretty good.
Good God, Carl, don't fucking do that.
I wanted to practice it while it was still fresh.
Holy. I mean, it was very good, though.
Thank you.
It was excellent.
Well, he's a
I
scary
feel like
creature.
you could probably walk into a store and simply use that, and people might just start giving you things. I don't know if they charge anymore.
I'm not here to be a bandit and rob people by scaring them, but if I did decide that to be my career path, I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Tell me, Captain, how exactly do you use the rock eater in order to find rich minerals? Do you consult on it? I heard tell back in Lakewood that the rock eater leads you to especially rich mineral yields in the earth. How do you communicate with it?
Yeah, he'll what he says is essentially, let's see, what would he tell you? He tries to explain that the way that the dwarves mine is, it's a fairly laborious traditional act. There's a lot of sorcery that can be used to kind of determine where more rich veins will be found, but they prefer to do it a bit more naturally. But if they are really stumped on a direction or path that they should traverse, and they need to find, or if they need to find a specific type of mineral, they'll often bring different samples of different sort of A, B, C, and they'll see which one is more rich in the specific type of ore or mineral, or if there's any traces of a specific gem that they have a hard time detecting, and they'll feed it to that creature, and it will tell them essentially almost like a readout of like this percentage of this percentage of this, and that's sort of the status quo. They allow this thing to sort of stay away from people, have a safe place to reside, and by its choice, he explains, it lives down there, isolated and away from everything else. They have tried before to introduce it to a bit more, not like to necessarily society, but they're not trying to keep him caged down there, right? That's its choosing. And so in return, that's kind of what they get.
It's a dwarven sniffler. Fantastic.
Yeah, essentially. Essentially, that is what it is. Yeah, he'll open the hidden passageway by similar device that he used to open it. Again, the key presses in the reverse order those stones from before. The wall sort of sinks back in on itself and lowers down, and you guys are back into the regular city, essentially. Again, he looks around, he makes sure that nobody sees you guys kind of appearing out of the wall, is what essentially happened there. And you're able to breathe a breath of what is relatively fresh air. It was very sort of oppressive down in the cave system, if you will. And you guys are able to breathe easy. That puts your mind a bit more at ease and relaxed than how you were feeling just a few minutes ago. He'll invite you guys, he's more than happy to lead you back to your rooms if that's where you want to go. He'll explain basically that the quarantine is lifted on the city, though. If you would like to explore around on your own, The city is yours to use as you see fit. If they can be of any assistance to you guys, all you have to do is ask, and he'll do whatever he can to assist, essentially.
Well, very good. I do feel a little bit unsatisfied by this whole thing. I thought one of our main missions was to figure out how to get these things off. Now we know that the ore is a battery of energy of some kind, probably, but we still haven't made progress forward in removing these from our digits.
To that, he'll say that, let's see, what would he say? He'll kind of, stroke his beard and think a little bit. This is really out of his league of understanding. He has almost no input on what the next step you guys could take. He will say, well, I mean, we don't have a spectacular wizarding school. We don't really have one at all. But we do have a very nice library. It's open to you. And of course, Nigel and Mendax, if you'd like to research at all, it's open for you to use. If there's anything you need, we'll do our best. But unfortunately, that's information I don't think we have.
I was thinking of just getting drunk down at the tavern on some dwarven ale, but I guess I probably should go do some reading instead and check over my notes and try to meditate on my past learnings and remember everything I know about ore used as sources of essence and magical energy. So I'm going to head to the library.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is Thursday, so it's a better day for the tavern tomorrow. It is, buy one, get one. Right? Is that what it is? Or there's always half off? Either way. Works out the
Buy
same.
one,
Math checks
get
out.
one. Yeah. All half off or buy one, get one. It's the same thing.
Doesn't
Technically, I
matter.
guess.
It's a deal.
It is a deal. Yeah, he'll yeah, go ahead, Nigel.
Nothing of note. Please continue.
It's all good. It's kind of in your guys' hands a little bit right now. It is a bit of an unsatisfactory feeling. You guys were really hoping that this would be, boom, here you go. Here's what you need to do. You're definitely a step closer, but this is just going to take some raw research, more than likely on the part of Nigel. Again, Nigel, you do have some. It's just very hard for you to kind of nail this down without researching and referencing your notes again. But something about this whole situation and about this ore and these rings being a battery or a storage of some sort really is just like, man, what is it? It's very annoying to you, actually, because this does not happen very often where you can't recall some pertinent detail or piece of information. So it's actually bugging the fuck out of you right now.
Mm-hmm. It's time to nerd off. I'll shuffle off to the library then.
Okay.
Do you want us to pick up Goop for you while you're at the library or something?
Oh, you can try. I'm not sure if you'll be ready yet, but here's the receipt. You can go by the Golem Smiths and check. I mean, he's not really mine. I, do think of him almost as a son or at least a pet of some sort.
I feel like those are two very different things.
It really depends. Some people have different approaches. Many farmers have 2 dozen sons. They just need more to work the fields. Is that not just, it's like having a pet or an ox to pull a cart. A son, an ox, a horse. It's all one and the same in some people's eyes.
I mean, it is a construct, just so we're clear. I don't think there's a living soul in it.
Just because he appears cold on the outside, he could be misunderstood. We don't know what depths there are. Some magical equations and formulae are so complicated they can create a form of life, which who are we to say it is any less valid than our own?
Don't get me wrong. I'm all Team Goop. I love Goop. Goop saved me, so Goop's my shit. He's honestly my favorite person in the entire world right now.
Well, go see if you can find out more about how we can communicate with and make use of him, and hopefully he can get us out of a hard spot. For now, I'm going to go back and see if I can get some more goop put on my leg, make it heal faster while I read up on these books in the library.
Team Goop.
What? Team Goop, I need a shirt.
Team Goop. We do need a shirt. Oh man, that's what we need.
What?
That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, see
Right.
if you can find goop-sized clothes while you're down there. See if you could maybe we
my
could get him a cute hat or something.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my god, he'd be so adorable with a hat. Or like a little ascot. Like something.
What's an ascot?
It's like a little necktie, but it's not a tie. Oh my god, I'm traveling with savages. Don't worry about it, we'll get him one. If they have one, we'll get him one.
I am a barbarian. I don't know what you expected. How many barbarians know what an ascot is?
The well-dressed ones, I would think.
I believe I did once read a collection of all sorts of notes on fashion across the land. I believe it was called Google. It was a great giant tome. And yes, apparently it looks like something rather fancy that wankers wear. Yes.
Okay, unless they're small and they're golems and they save your life, in which case it's not for wankers, it's for people who are adorable. Honestly. I don't want to hear it, okay? Your leg smells like a grandmother. So I don't think you'll want to talk right now.
That is the best insult I think of. Your leg smells like a grandma. That's perfect. I'm gonna
Your
keep
leg
that one in my back pocket.
Smells like Nana's bathroom. So I don't want to hear it.
God. All right, I think tensions are a bit high. I think this is probably a good spot for our little mid-session break, so we can all relax and just calm down. So we'll take 5, let everyone cool off, and we'll come back and continue the episode if that sounds good to you guys.
I'm gonna go Google what an ascot is.
Look it up. Okay, it's fashion.
We'll be back in 5. Thank you everyone for tuning in for Wayfarers episode 12. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Wayfarers episode 12. We are in the city of Tol Karabot, have just met with the amazing gangle creature known as the Rock Eater. And I'm about to embark on various tasks, checking in on Goop, and researching more about this mysterious ore in the library.
Yes. So,
What?
you guys... What?
Gotcha.
What? God damn it. I said I wasn't ever going to fall for it again, and here we go.
What?
You guys have reached a... kind of you're at a standstill. Nigel is sort of the one who can control the pace of how quickly you guys can leave. So depending on how Nigel's research goes and how his study goes, you guys will be kind of, I don't know, stuck in Tol Karabon for a little bit of time. It seems like one way or another, you guys are probably going to be here at least until Nigel's leg is at least mostly healed all the way. So that being said, you can each, in a somewhat similar fashion to Lakewood, go about what you would like to do in Tol Karabon. I know that you mentioned you want to check up on Goop and make sure that he's doing good and whatnot. You guys are more than welcome to do that. The way that I was going to do this sort of session, I suppose, if you will, of rest in the city, because you guys are also, again, pretty exhausted. You can't push yourself to your limits all of the time, so you do need to have periods of rest between that. I have something a little bit for each of you, a kind of path or something written up that each of you might embark on if you so choose. Or if you want to just fuck off and do something else, that's fine too. That's up to you.
Well, I'm curious. What are our
Hi there.
options?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna do this in a bit more of like a macro look at the 2 weeks as opposed to an every single day kind of thing, like how we were doing in Lakewood. Otherwise, you'll have to role play like 14 days of different, like wake up, what do you do? That's gonna take forever, even for us to do. So, in long periods of time like this, it's normal, especially for us. That's true.
It's 2 weeks of just non-stop sequence of hangovers and Mendax getting drunk, waking up, getting up, waking up in strange places, stealing things, getting caught.
Let's do it like let's tackle this as follows. Mendax, we will start with you. Each of you have your own interests. You don't have to hang out all the time. By all means, if you do want to go and hang out with your other party members, that is more than your call. You can. Nigel is going to be spending more than likely a lot of his time in the library doing research and going over his notes. But Nigel, there is more to this story as well for you than just, you spend another day in the library. We're going to start with Mendax. Mendax, it is Wednesday, and we'll say for the rest of the day, you go and check in on Goop. He's not going to be ready quite yet. You can see that he is essentially powered down in a sense. They have to do that in order to do repairs and things like that. The kind of control orb that was like his eye is out of his construction. They're making repairs. You can see that they're crafting an arm for him of similar material than what he's made of. They've kind of cleaned him off. You guys have only been there for like a couple of days, so they haven't made the most progress. So he's been in their hands for maybe less than 12 hours. But even still, they've made a pretty decent amount of progress. So they let you know, you can check back in the next week or so. Maybe he'll be done by then, unless you guys are in like a hurry and you need to leave right now. Then they'll do what they can to kind of just put him back the way he was and let you guys go. But let's say you would want to head to the tavern, right? It's Thursday and it's buy one get one free. Is that where you'd like to go? I'm assuming, but hey, if you want to go somewhere else, you let me know.
I, am very offended by all of these assumptions of my character.
I don't know.
You
seem to show interest previously. Is there a brothel? There's not.
Then I guess I'll go to the tavern.
All right.
Second choice.
You head to the tavern, and the captain was not lying. It is extremely crowded. There are tons of people. Half of them are shouting, half of them are fighting, and another half of them, so 3 halves, are singing some songs. So you fit right in. You get in a minor scuffle. You sing some and learn some new dwarven tunes, and you get very drunk not very quickly. You pace yourself a little bit. You don't go straight for the dwarven ale that you remember taking before, but very quickly you are out 10 gold.
Oh God!
So
I fucking helped save this goddamn city. Nobody wants to buy me a drink, and I have just spent 10 gold.
As you say that, there are a group of 2 humans and a dwarf that walk up to you, and they say, "We'll buy you a drink."
Oh my God, you're so nice. Oh, thank you so much. What's your name?
Which one are you asking?
You know what? At this point, I think I'm seeing 4 of them. So, the second from the left.
The second from the left. That's one of the humans. Let me do a roll and see if you even remember his name the next day. Can you do an intelligence roll for me?
Oh god, this is going to be bad. No, it's not that bad. 18.
Oh.
All right, you think his name is Smiggles.
Oh. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, Smiggles! How
Yeah,
you
you guys.
doing?
It's not the next day yet. It's still today. You guys get along very well. You're having an awesome time. You're singing different dwarven tunes, and your personalities are shockingly relatively similar. They challenge you to a drinking contest, Mendax.
Are you done? Dunzo. Absolutely. Challenge accepted. Wait, what are the terms? Do we win anything or is it just for pride? I'm fine either way. I'm going to say yes. Just my consent has been given, regardless.
The human that you think his name is Smiggles will say, if you can beat us, we'll take you to our boss.
Wait, so then I have to beat both of you. And then I'm go. What the fuck do you even do, Smiggles? I don't care about your boss. Who's your boss? What does your boss do?
Give me an intelligence check to see if you can form that coherent line of thought.
14.
Okay, yeah, you are able to generally convey, or at least you think so, convey why do I want to meet your boss. And he will do a quick sign with his hand that you recognize as a part of the thieves' camp. These guys have picked you out and they recognize you as a member of the sort of underground elite, if you will.
I accept this challenge. Am I playing both of you at the same time, or is it one after the other?
Both at the same time. We'll play fair.
I mean, well, okay, honestly. It's not the most at once. Anyway, let's do this.
All right. The human, you think his name's Smiggles. I'm just going to keep saying that so you never know.
I'm going to continually call him Smiggles, even if I learn it's different.
Okay. He snaps his fingers and motions the barkeep over. And he'll pour 3 kind of large flagons of that dwarven ale that you had the other night, Ash.
All right.
And he'll go, okay, whoever can drink the most wins.
Done. So it's just just over. Is there a time constraint?
It's just whoever can stand to drink the most and remain standing will win. You assume that it's not a race; it's more of a marathon. You could, yeah. So whoever has, you take a sip. Okay, give me
like
a
a smaller sip.
Mm-hmm. Give me a Constitution save.
I've got a 16.
Okay, you are able to stomach the raging inferno that is your stomach. That one sip and like PTSD flashbacks happen in your head of when you downed that glass that they brought to you the other night. You choke back what you can only assume is bile, but you have taken a sip of the ale. Let me roll for them and see how Smiggles and the other human does. The dwarf is just laughing and having a good time. Okay, one of them kind of brings the tankard up to his mouth and like inhales, and he gets like woozy, and then he actually like hits the table. He doesn't even make it to the sip of the ale. The other one, Smiggles, takes a pretty decently sized sip, a little bit more than you do, and looks pretty good. You can tell he kind of has to. Yep, I remember this. And he puts the flagon down. He's currently winning, so he kind of looks to you to make the next move.
Can I, Smiggles? It's not that I don't trust you, because I don't know you. So obviously, I definitely trust you. But I want to stick my finger in his tankard and take a taste to make sure that it is actually dwarven ale.
Yeah, that's a smart move, definitely. It is. It is for sure.
Fuck you, Smiggles. Okay. So I've done lots of drinking in my time, and I do know, counter to, what people usually think, you should have something on your stomach. You should have protein.
Mhm.
Can I motion the bartender over? I would like to get some form of meat, like a nice sausage. I would very much like a nice sausage in this bar. And then I'd like to take a bite of the sausage and take another sip of the ale.
Okay. Yeah, he will bring you over what is called the spicy bassa. And it is it's like a spicy like pork sausage, basically. Yeah, and you can have some of that to eat.
Yeah,
if you
I don't
think
want a
will
lot
help
of
you.
it. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
take a
sure,
couple
sure.
bites.
Okay.
I'm assuming that
Yeah.
tieflings have a pyloric valve. It's important. So I should only absorb
that is
20%.
Information I have no idea what to do with. So yes, sure. Give
So
me another Constitution save if you're gonna go for another sip, though.
I am going for another same size. This is not. We're going for the marathon, not the sprint.
Okay.
I got a 16. 16
Okay.
this time.
You are feeling you're feeling a bit at ease. You think that eating something definitely helped. Keep in mind you were pretty drunk before. So you're not in the best control of like how your body is feeling. You could be normally like in a bit of a a mess right now, but whether it's just you're numb to your own feelings or you're actually handling this better than before, you are able to press on. You take a same size sip. The tankard is about a sixth of the way down from the top, which is pretty good. He goes, all right, and looks over. He grabs one of the sausages as well and bites off
That's my
half.
sausage. I slapped the fuck out of his hand. Smiggles, that's a fucking foul, mate. You don't do that. That's my plate. No, you
Give me
order
a
your
dex.
own. You order your own main vein.
Give me a dex save.
I got a 6.
Okay, you do not slap that out of his hand. You
God
slap
damn it.
the air that's kind of next to his hand a little bit, and you look a little bit silly with it, and you assume that's what you said. You're not entirely sure what came out of your mouth, and you're swaying back and forth a little bit. Regardless, Smiggles carries on. He takes a bite and takes another sizable sip, like before. Let me take a look and see how he's doing. Oh, he is doing a bit rough at this point. He is not able to drain the tankard as much as he was getting before. He kind of has to. He gets like choked up at a second and coughs a bit. Like you could tell he almost inhaled some of the alcohol. You guys are roughly even right now, though. He's no longer winning. But he kind of is trying to put on like a brave face, like, yeah, I got this. This is nothing.
I hope you do choke on that sausage, Smiggles. The stolen sausage. Fuck you. Okay.
Okay. That's what you think you say. What you actually say is Smiggles, you sausage.
That works for me. Okay, I take another small bite of the spicy sausage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take another sip, very tiny sip. Again, we're playing the long strat. We're going macro. We're not cheesing here.
Okay. What did you get?
I got a 15. Not as good as last time, but I'm loving this dice tonight.
All right. I mean, a 15 is a relatively still decent roll for where you're at. Did you roll a 15 or did you get a 15 with the Constitution save?
Oh, I've literally been forgetting to adding my Constitution +3 to all of these, so it's fine. So I actually got a 15 +3, so an 18.
Okay. All right. I was kind of thinking
I have
you're doing math a lot faster tonight.
and I forgot to add any of my benefits to it.
That is okay. That's okay. Yeah, you're powering through. You take another decently sized sip, and you're feeling good. You actually go for a second one at the same time. You are about a fourth of the way done with your drink, and you look at Smiggles. You put the ball back in his court. He doesn't go for any more sausage bites. He's looking kind of green around the gills. Yeah, and he tries to go for another sip. His hand is like a little bit shaky and he's sweating a little bit. And he like tries to take even the slightest sip of the ale and he just can't do it. You win.
Oh.
And he puts the ale down and he's excuse me, and he kind of rushes off. He's holding his stomach in his mouth. You think he's going to probably take care of the issue. But you won. Congratulations. The drinking contest is yours. The dwarf that is nearby kind of he does a little cheer. Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
I want to reach my hand out to pound his fist. I'm going to hold it out like, come on, dwarf.
All right. Give me a dex
Hey,
save.
what's up? I got a 3.
All right, you fall on the ground.
Do I have any dexterity? No, I have
it.
excellent dexterity, don't I? No, it's a 9.
Yeah, still falling on the ground.
It's a 9.
You feel pretty good, though. I mean, you still won. You're not, like, unconscious, but you fall out of your seat trying to do this very complicated lean-over maneuver. Not very practiced at doing that when you're absolutely
Just on
trapped.
purpose. It's my finishing move. It's fine.
The dwarf will help you up, and we'll go ahead and we'll pause your story there for now. Nigel, we'll head over to you. It is, we'll say, the first kind of couple days of your research. How do you want to go about researching? Do you want to just hole up in the library? Are you trying to do individual looking through notes? Combination of the two? Tell me what you want to do.
Starting with just reviewing notes and the books that I have on me, and then just kind of going through the library and first of all going to consult with the librarian or whoever's in charge of the library. I imagine there's a librarian.
Oh yeah. There are several. There are many of them. So if you tell them sort of the content of what you're trying to research, they'll definitely be able to point you in the right direction. They are, they mainly have like organizational skills. They're not at all learned in the ways of the arcane, but they can go, magic, and then it kind of breaks down into subcategories from there. So they give you several good leads to start off on, and then once you start actually researching, you can kind of recall even yourself a couple of books that wait, what about this one? I'm pretty sure I read something in here. Give me an Arcana check. That's what we'll use for your research here.
I've got a +5 on Arcana, so that's going to be a 15.
Mm-hmm. A 15. Yeah, you feel like you're making pretty decent progress at first. This is not a type of magic that is very popular, but you do remember, and you are reading even further in about different wizards and sorcerers and magic users over time that have tried to, and failed for the most part, create like magical type of receptors. What you find for the most part is a lot of like golem construction and things like that. That is the most applied usage of this current type of enchantment or magic in today's world, is like a constant and steady stream of magic, or a connecting device between a magical source and a golem to keep them active. Nothing that quite fits the bill, though, of something that just stores energy. That is not, you're not able to find that at first. And you research this for the first few days. Again, this nagging feeling at the back of your head that something is just so familiar about this, and you're trying to race through your memory, and you're coming up blank. It's quite frustrating for you at first. Um, as you're sitting at the table after the first, we'll say you've been at this probably for about 4 days or so. In the meantime, you have been receiving, again, medical treatment for your leg. You've been not sleeping as much as you should. When you go on these sort of nerdy benders, if you will, you value the candlelight as opposed to the pillow. So you look up and you notice that there is like a disheveled looking, think of like very classical wizard, like robed wizard, like purple robes with yellow stars, wizard hat guy sitting across for you. And he kind of has like, he has bags under his eyes. He's pretty old and he's got a white beard and hair. His robes look pretty unclean. I go, hey!
And it's the middle of the night, right?
You're not actually sure what time it is.
And I'm in the
There's no
library, yeah?
windows. Yeah, you're in the library, but there's no like windows to the outside where you are, so you can't really actually tell unless you ask someone like what time of day it is.
Hello.
What you reading there?
Not being sure if he's real or not, but deciding to indulge my own what appears to be a very expressive dream. I am trying and mostly failing to discover ways of using mysterious types of ore to create magical batteries or receptors that can store energy inside of them. Know anything about that?
He'll say, "Oh, that's cool." No. And he'll kind of like scratch his head in a weird way. He'll go, "You want to buy a map though?"
What's the map lead to?
A magic store in the city of Tulkarabad.
Shouldn't I buy things once I'm in the store? So, I mean, do you own the store and you're trying to get customers? You're getting them to pay to find out where the store is. It seems like a bad business model.
And he'll kind of like come in close and go, "Shh, no, it's a secret store."
Well, I might just have gone off the deep end, but sure. I actually have what is the most rare and mysterious rock, and I will pay you this entire rock, though it does hurt me to part with it, for this map of your magical store.
And he'll kind of like again like scratch at his arm a little bit. You get a very unnerving feeling from this guy. And he go, "Ooh, what kind of rock is that?"
Ah, this is a magical rock of bludgeoning. When used in the right circumstances, this can bludgeon the most powerful of beasts and creatures. It brings justice when it is most needed, freedom
Uh-huh.
for those who are
Whoa,
oppressed.
you don't say. Give me a performance, and I will actually give me a. You're not. Give me a deception because you're lying to him, kind of. You're technically telling the truth, which is what the best part is. But I will give you advantage on this deception check because you are actually telling the truth, but you're trying to fool this guy.
I've rolled an 18, but advantage means roll twice, right?
Yeah,
And
and
I
you
rolled
take
an
the highest
18
one.
again. So what is
You're
deception plus 2? So 20.
That's a very good. Oh, well, I've never heard of that artifact before. Can I see it?
Most certainly. But first, I must see the map.
Yeah. And he'll like reach into his robe and he'll pull out like a folded, well, it looks like a napkin, and he'll put it on the table. You get you see he'll like slide it towards you. His nails are like cracked and gross, and his fingers are like skeletal and kind of. I don't want to. You wouldn't want to shake hands with this guy. You're like, no, I'm good. But he'll like, here you go, and he'll hold his hand out for the rock, and his hand is kind of a little shaky.
Okay. I'll hand over the rock and pick
You
up
just
the
hand him like
napkin.
it's a regular rock, right? You don't
Oh,
have
it's a
some
rock.
special.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
3-pound
alright.
rock. It's one of the rocks I carry around. Yeah.
And he'll go and he'll like he's really enamored with this rock. Oh yeah, I've heard of these before. It's pretty. You've got yourself a good one here. And he'll kind of like sniff it. He will like bite it a little bit. He's missing some teeth. It's like, oh, yes, good quality rock. Yeah, rock of bludgeoning. Get a good price. Yes. The map is in front of you. I don't know if you're.
Oh, I'm picking it up. Yeah. What's it look like?
Yeah. So the map, you unfold it. It looks like it's a pen drawing. And at the top of it, it will say Bumblemore McStumblefumble's secret map. And there's like a really crude circle drawing of like the 3 rings of the city, and on the middle ring there's like an X, and then at the bottom it'll have like a little like little bullets or whatever, and it'll say drunk beard or drunk hair, cat, and secret.
So that's drunk hair on one line, cat, and then secret. All 3 lines.
Yeah. Yep.
Fascinating. Wow. And what was your name again, good sir?
And he'll almost, he's not like surprised, but like he like kind of forgot you were there, and he'll reach into like a pocket from his robe and pull out like a twisted, gnarled, it's been taped in the middle wand, and he'll do some quick prestidigitation, and in the air above him is like a little like almost fireworks go off that spell his name, and he'll go, I'm Bumblemore McStumblefumble.
Beebleball, was it?
Oh,
McStumblefumble.
Bumblemore.
Bumble. Fantastic.
So how about it? Want to trade? He hasn't really like grasped that you've already looked at the map, and that it's like it's not very hard to understand.
I am going to just rub my eyes and then look at him again, and
he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Do I notice anything odd about the appearance? Does he appear to be real?
Oh yeah, he's real.
He's real. Okay, they just got mad wizards running around the library. Before we make the trade, I need to know, what is the store called? And what can I find there?
It's so you ask him what it's called and what you can find at the store. He'll say, it's called the Wizard's Closet, and only the most elite of wizards can find it. It has magical artifacts inside.
Really? The Wizard's Closet? And it's hidden there.
Yeah,
it's great,
it's hidden
magical...
in the walls.
And do you know who owns this store? Bumblemore McStumblefuggin?
He'll no, nobody knows who. It's mystery. But maybe you can find out if you trade me for the men.
Why not? You know, that rock of bludgeoning, it sure did serve me well, but I hope it can find a worthy owner in your hands. Treated well. And I'm going to pick up the napkin, very carefully fold it back up and put it in my robes.
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll go, great. Well, good luck on finding the secret shop. And he'll get up and he'll tuck the rock into his robe and he'll shuffle off. All right.
I'm going to just kind of look around in disbelief and go, huh? Actually, as he walks away, can I follow him stealthily?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Give me a stealth check.
16.
Yeah, you're stealthing as best as you can, and you're stalking this kind of out of his mind wizard. Yeah, he kind of shuffles off. He's not very fast, but he takes a lot of steps, if that makes sense. And he's kind of just walking around, and you follow. How long do you want to follow him for?
I am making no progress. I'm frustrated. I feel like there's something on the edge of my mind. I mean, I was at the end of my wits anyway. I'm gonna absolutely take full advantage of this distraction and follow and get to the mystery of, is this guy insane? What the hell is going on? And why is he allowed to go around the library where you'd think only the most esteemed citizens would be allowed amongst the valuable books?
Yeah, I mean, you you are kind of following him. You're pretty deep in the library, right? So it takes you a solid amount of time. He's not very fast to even leave the library. He doesn't really stop for anything. Every now and again he'll like look at a book. You see he pulls one book out, and it's related to like how to upholstery a couch and things like that, and then he'll put the book back. He'll kind of like browse that book for like a couple minutes and just talking to himself. How close do you want to get to him? Are you like
I'm just
like
actually
trying to
I think I can cast invisibility on myself, but I'm just double checking right now.
Oh yeah, you can.
can,
Oh yeah, certainly. You can cast invisibility on yourself, no problem. And it lasts for up to an hour. Yeah, so you can definitely become invisible.
All right, invisibility. So I'll.
Yes, I like it. All right, so you are invisible. Yeah, so yeah, you are able to evade the gaze of this decrepit wizard man, and you can get relatively close to him so long as you don't make any noise. He pulls out it's seemingly just completely random books. Again, one of them is specifically about how to upholstery a couch. Another one is the history of rocks and like where their origins and where they were found. And as he walks out of the library after probably about like half an hour or so, he'll like wave at the person behind the counter and go, "We'll see you next time, Susan." And Susan, who you assume that's her name, will go, "Okay, bye, Bumblemore." And so they apparently know who he is, and you can follow him around probably for the next. I mean, I would assume the extent of your invisibility spell. He doesn't go anywhere or do anything that gives you any kind of clue as to what he's up to. He just seemingly is just shuffling around the town randomly, and just like, oh yeah, he's like just muttering to himself.
Well, to understand order, sometimes one must understand chaos. And so, unable to make progress in my studies, I will follow him for a full hour, at which point I'm
Mhm.
willing to cast another invisibility spell and then follow him for another hour until I get hungry.
Okay, okay, sure. We will say he makes random stops throughout the next where he will stop at geez, I'll probably do some rolls for these. Um At one point he goes into a woodworking shop to inquire about tool repair. At a second point, he will go into a clothing store and ask them if they make shoes in extra small. And then at a third point, he'll go back to the library and he'll say, "Sorry, Susan, forgot my socks again." And he'll shuffle back to one of the aisles and pull a book out of the bookcase, and there is inexplicably a pair of socks that have like saved a page there. And he'll grab the socks and he'll leave again.
And I guess at this point, the second invisibility spell's about to wear off.
Yeah,
It's getting
again,
close.
he's not very quick, so to go to these places takes time. But at that point, we'll go ahead and pause your story. So we'll leave you there for right now. Call. You have been given kind of free reign of the city. Being the world traveler that you are, you have gone around. You've looked at the different stores, the different shops. You've taken a pass at the alchemy shop that's there. Kind of taken down some notes. You've taken this time to relax a bit as well, and read up on your own alchemy book, your basics book, if you recall. And you do this for probably the first, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days or so. One morning though, which you guys, by the way, are welcome to stay in the rooms that you've been in so far, or you're welcome to move to like the tavern or something like that. It's up to you. Um, but one morning, regardless of well, actually, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay at the tavern call, or do you want to stay in like the servants' rooms or the back quarters?
I'm fine in the quarters that we had before. I'm not that particular.
Okay. Okay, yeah, sounds good. One morning you wake up and there is like a card, like a note that's bent in half so that it's like, displayed nicely. Almost think of like a placeholder at a table. And it'll say in some black ink call on the front of it.
Oh, a note. I would like to go to the note.
You go to the note and you open it. And on the inside is written, let me take a look here. It says, "If you want to test your strength in a true contest, then follow the path and be here at midnight." And there is, again, sort of a more detailed map than the one that Nigel had, but it has an X on one of the popular taverns in the town.
Ooh, that sounds like a good bit of fun. Feel like I've been resting long enough. It's about time to flex these bird arms again. Color me
Okay.
interested. I would like to investigate this at, what was it, midnight?
Yeah, midnight. So you just woke up. Is there anything in particular, we'll say, that you want to purchase, or you have an okay amount of gold? Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or would be on the lookout for while you're in the city?
I would want to stock up on, at a bare minimum, some healing potions. I believe we used the last of them on Mendax when she broke her legs jumping off the magmalisk. So some of those, and then any other enhancing potions. Maybe there's one that makes me stronger. Maybe there's one that makes me less dumb. Take what I can get,
Okay.
sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll say that you spend today and you go and peruse the like local alchemist store, the one that's available for everyone to go to. In there, yeah, you do see some kind of common healing potions, nothing of like super high renown, but they will sell those at a rate of 15 gold per potion. And you said you're on the lookout for other like enhancement potions, essentially.
Sure.
All right, let me see what you can find, my friend. Yeah, you are able to find actually quite a rare find. They sell this one at a rate of 75 gold. It's in like elixir of strength. And they boast that it is a mountain mover. Anyone who drinks this for the next hour, they're able to, to just become an absolute monster. But they're selling it for 75 gold, so it's pretty pricey.
Well, I have a choice then because I can't bring health potions and get this as well. I have 85 gold.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to try to haggle?
I do.
Okay.
So,
How would you like to do that?
I would like to present my case to the owner of said shop, basically explaining the story of our highly dangerous mission on the back of the Magmalisk, and also articulating my love and admiration for the crafting of potions and the gratitude for the healing potions that kept our team alive through these great challenges, and that we have lost them in the process, using them very appropriately, but still, being out of healing potions is a big problem for adventurers. I am very interested in this strength elixir, but simply put, I cannot afford all of these. But as people who have put their lives at risk, I would ask for maybe a friend discount or something of this effect.
Okay, give me a you're taking the friendly route, right? So give me a persuasion check.
Very good. Shit. That's going to be a persuasion. It's going to be a 4 with bonuses.
All right, so they are very, I mean, you're bringing up some very good points. You get the sense that their business was hurting a little bit from what had just happened as well. You surmise, and they let you know that they had to, give up a lot of their stock too. But they do thank you, of course, for everything that you've done for the city. They would be more than happy to provide some kind of a discount. They're willing to sell it to you for like 10% off. So they'll sell you the potion and the elixir of strength for 85 gold. I don't know if that's 10% off, but that's what we're gonna. I think it might be actually, but it's close.
We'll call it good. So it's 1 healing potion and the elixir of strength for 85 gold.
Deal. And they will they'll wrap it up. The elixir of strength is kind of it's actually a very small vial. It's kind of almost like triangular in shape with like a wax sealed cork at the top. The healing potion looks like pretty much every other healing potion you've gotten. It seems to be of good quality. The clarity of the elixir itself looks nice, and the flask that it comes in seems really solid. So then, yeah, they'll give you both 85 gold. The elixir of strength for your actually, you know what? We'll find out what happens when you drink it. You know what the healing potion does?
I believe it heals.
It do. This is a common one, so it'll heal 2d4 when you drink it.
Very good.
They're kind of the regular rate, so you can add that to your inventory. Elixir of strength, and we'll say common healing potion.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So that's about all the gold you have. Your meals while you're here, the captain has assured you, are included, and your rooms are free. I mean, if you try to stay here for maybe years, they'll have a problem, but you don't get the sense that they're trying to hurry you out by any sense. So you don't feel like, oh my god, I just spent all my money and I don't have any food now. So you're good as far as that goes. You kind of just want to hang around and bumble around until midnight?
Sure, I might also like to, at some point, visit and
Mm-hmm.
see what the training process of the dwarves might be. I've been rather intrigued by how stout King Stumpy and so on have been. There's a bit of curiosity. I know how Kenku more or less train in our tribes, but for dwarven and their armaments and things, I'm a bit curious. Wouldn't mind a peek.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely, you'll be able to get to that no problem during the time that you're staying here. But we'll say for the day, you kind of take it easy, admiring the new potion. It will say that it took you a bit of time as well to get to the alchemy store. Again, you're not in any particular rush. You're not like you're not trying to sprint your way through this. You get the sense it's going to take you guys some time. But midnight does eventually arrive, and you head to the tavern that it mentioned on your map. It is a different tavern from the one that Mendax went to. I mean, it's a different day. Keep in mind, anyways, Mendax, but it is a different tavern just for the sake of
Okay,
the
but let's be
story.
real. I'm probably still there.
No, we'll get actually back to you. Sorry, you probably aren't there actually. The tavern's name is the Stone Monkey. In case you care. You head inside. It is fairly late for a weekday, but there are people who are inside the tavern still. What would you like to do?
I would like to sort of browse the room for anyone who looks particularly strong, given that's the nature of the challenge.
No, there's no one that's like that specifically looks overtly strong. There are some dwarves, and again, it seems like a lot of the dwarves in this town do a lot of manual labor. So they look kind of strong, but no one that besides that particularly looks out of the ordinary in terms of strength. There's a couple of humans. There's a gnome that's talking with someone, and then there's the barkeep behind the counter that's, we'll say, cleaning a glass, because why not?
It's a very clean glass you've got there, barkeep. I had a question for you.
Yeah, he's a human actually. He'll say, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
I received a note just in my chambers here in the city saying that there was some gathering for a challenge of strength that meets here.
And he'll go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hey man, shh, quiet down. Let me see the note."
Was I too loud? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah, you're too loud. This is not. Let me see the note.
I will pass
And
along the note.
he'll take the note from you. He'll kind of look around, and he'll kind of try to block the message. Okay. He'll hand it back to you, and he'll say, yeah, head to the back, go down the stairs."
Thank you. I will. I would like to very nonchalantly go to the back.
Okay. Yeah, you you walk to the back. No one gives a damn what you're doing in this tavern. No one is following you. No one's really watching you. The barkeep goes back and kind of cleaning the glass inconspicuously, but you can see he kind of shakes his head a little bit. You go and you see the stairwell that he was talking about. It is fairly dimly lit, and you can hear what sounds like some shouting. Very like kind of muffled though, but it's coming from down in the basement.
I would like to proceed down into the basement.
Okay, you walk down, and the yelling, shouting kind of gets louder. It's not like someone is in trouble. It sounds like cheering and jeering, stuff like that. But it's not in the room where you are. You can tell that it's behind It looks like it's actually behind one of like the flag, like the casks of ale. It's kind of weird that you think the sound's coming from that direction. You go over to inspect it, you can actually see that if you pull the flask out a bit, that there's actually a door there that you can open.
I'm feeling a little bit fired up here. I don't know if it's my bird instincts or what, but I will open the door and proceed.
Okay, so you pull the flask out. It's actually empty, where the ones next to it are fully stocked. So it looks like this one is just to maybe hide this door that's there. And so you pull this big flask out of the way, and you open the door. It's a fairly heavy wooden door. It can dampen sound pretty well, but when you open it, it's like the full cacophony of noise is in there. Again, shouting, cheering.
Yeah, woo! Get him! Fuck him up!
And you walk into the room, shut the door behind you, and you can see that there is the room is fairly well lit. It's a pretty sizable room that you're in. There's a ring of people in the center, obscuring the vision from whatever's happening, but everyone's kind of cheering, and they're all different types of humanoids. Again, there's a couple orcs in there even. There's many dwarves, many humans. But everyone's cheering, but you can't get a sense of what's actually happening in the like what they're cheering about.
Well, could I go to the group of people and create an opening
Yeah.
to see what's going on?
Yeah, you kind of you try to like like push your way through so you can see. It's not like a huge crowd of people, but there's probably like 30-40 people in this room. In standing in a circle, you're able to eventually kind of work your way in. What you see at the center is two dwarves sitting at a table and they're arm wrestling. And they are intense. They're into it. People are like, they're cheering, and you can see like the muscles on these dwarves' arms are like, they look like they're carved out of steel, my friend. And they are just they're super intensely going over they're trying to win. And people are like holding money up. They're yelling, cheering. Again, the noise just keeps kind of getting louder and louder. But after like 30 seconds or so, the bald dwarf finally like crashes the other dwarf's hand down on the table, and almost flips the wooden table over that they're playing on, and stands up and he sort of starts cheering.
Yeah.
I would like to join in with a little applause for that. That was quite the performance. These are very stout people here. I like this. Well, is there anyone who it seems like maybe they might be in charge? Because someone must have given me this note, and they're probably here.
Yeah. In fact, there is a pretty soon after the fight concludes, a dwarf walks towards the center of the room and stands on the table, and he says,
Give it up for Brock Stonefist, our champion of the night. Good job, Brock.
and he'll kind of the room will disperse a little bit into their own conversation. The dwarf that kind of made that announcement is talking with who you now assume his name is Brock. And he's like going over some papers, writing some stuff down. He hands him a bit of money. And then after he finishes talking with him, he goes over and talks to the loser, gives him a smaller amount of money. And he kind of just is talking to the various people around him.
I would like to speak to the leader, good Sir Dwarf. My name is Khaal, the Kenku Barbarian, and I received a note in my quarters to come to this tavern at midnight. Is there a way that I'm able to compete in some kind of contest?
As soon as you get his attention, his face kind of lights up, and he'll pat you on the arm and kind of give you a friendly grab. I guess I don't really know. But he'll go, yes, of course, Khaal. I was the one who gave you. I was the one who told them to send you the note. We'd be honored for you to join us here in our little club. You fancy yourself a strong bird? Well, this is the place where you can prove it. I heard tale of your adventures, and I knew I had to get you to come and join us here. We'd be honored for you to partake in this contest of will and strength. Have you ever arm wrestled before, Khaal?
It's been a long time, but yes, as a young Kenku, we did test each other's strength in that way. I'm game.
You go, great. Then you're familiar with the techniques. So many people think this is just a savage sport. Well, brute strength is all that matters. But there's a lot of finesse that goes into it too. He'll kind of look around and he'll go, well, the main event for the night is done. This was kind of just a quick in-room meeting. We meet here every 2 days at around 11:30 or so, and we battle it out in feats of strength. He'll say, if you'd like, we could show you the ropes as far as how arm wrestling is really played.
That sounds like a good time to me.
And he'll stand back up on the table. He is again a bit shorter, and he'll kind of clap his hands a little bit. All right, everyone. All right, calm down. Now I know the main event is over, but we've got a special treat for you here tonight. This is Khaal. You all know him, savior of the town of Tol Karabad. His strength is legendary, but let's see if it's legendary enough to beat our club members. Do we have any takers? Anybody who would test the strength of our avian companion? And people will kind of start gathering around again, and they'll like nod to each other, like they kind of recognize your name. They know who you are. The Kenku again are not a very common race to be seen in this part of town, so they very quickly can associate you to the legendary hero Khaal. And a dwarf raises his hand. Give me a quick perception check there, Khaal. We'll see if you catch on.
Perception 21.
Yeah, you notice that this dwarf has no thumbs. And he'll say, I'll challenge the hero's strength. And the leader on the table will kind of nod his head, and he'll go, very good, very good. Give it up, everyone. Slate Marshall is coming down to challenge our friend. And he'll go, take a seat. And he'll hop off of the table, and he'll pull up a chair for you, Khaal, and Slate Marshall will sit opposite of you. And he looks like a fairly friendly dwarf. I mean, none of these guys look like they're evil or anything like that. But he looks serious, he takes arm wrestling seriously, and it's just something he's proud that he's a part of. And so he'll wait for the leader, the ringleader dwarf, if you will, to get everyone, and he'll say, now normally we do bet for a little bit of money, but as this is just a friendly competition, we'll waive the fees. This is purely just a show match, everybody. Now, hands on the table. Khaal, are you a righty or a lefty?
Right.
All right, good. And he'll go, okay, Slate, you know the drill. Khaal, what you're going to do. This is the rules, just in case you're curious. You have to have your elbows planted on the table. If ever your elbow rises from the table, you are considered disqualified from the match. If the back of your hand hits the table, you are disqualified from the match, or you lose rather. And if you are able to get the back of your opponent's hand to hit the back of to hit the table, then you are the victor. To aid with this, some new players do request the tie, which is tying a strand of rope around the contestant's hands, just to make sure that you don't make any blunders or technical errors.
Sure. If I may just prepare myself a little bit mentally, can I have a moment?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You can do as you choose.
Khaal, the Kenku, the barbarian, the thickest, biggest bird. He's the thickest, biggest bird. I would like to go into a rage.
Okay, do you do that song?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so you go into
Is that
a
against the
rage.
rules?
What's no, not
Okay.
at all. I'm just checking, man. I'm just checking.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of build yourself up. You do this bit of like a little rap. You do a rap, and then you bellow out a cry of barbarian rage. People are kind of like, okay, yeah, all right, sure, why not? Everyone has their own technique. And you go into a barbarian rage. You kind of bulk up a little bit. Your feathers kind of start to frill out, and anger and not hatred, but something similar seethes through you as you feel that familiar rush of adrenaline that the rage sends you in. Slate, roll an intimidation check, actually, Khaal. This is an involuntarily done.
Oh, shit!
That's a natural 20, motherfucker.
All right. Slate Marshall is like, I thought this was a friendly competition. Are we? And he'll look at the leader dwarf and go, yeah, Khaal. We're just having fun, just making sure we're all friends, right? Everyone's just having a good time here, right? And he'll kind of like motion to you, like make him feel not like you're gonna kill him.
I promise I won't bite anyone.
Yeah, see, Slate, he won't bite anyone. I just go, all right, now hands on the table, elbows up, interlock hands, and on the count of 3, arm wrestle. Khaal, Kenku, Birdbarian, thickest, biggest bird, are you ready?
Hell yeah.
Slate, no thumbs Marshall, are you ready? And he'll go, yes. Yes. And I go, all right. 1, 2, 3. And I go, ah. And then you guys can start wrestling. So we'll treat this as a series of strength checks, Khaal. So give me the first one out of the gate. How are you doing here? And we'll see how Slate is doing opposed.
Okay, and strength checks, I get 2 since I'm raging, correct?
Strength checks. Oh, I believe you do, actually. Rage. Yes, you get advantage on strength checks. So yes, you get to roll 2d20, and you take the highest. You can add your strength modifier, and that's it.
Okay, so the first one is a 21,
Okay.
and then a 14, so 21.
All right. You immediately flatten his arm on the table. It's not even remotely close. You decimate this fellow in the field of battle. Yeah, it's very quick. Everyone is like cheering.
The strongest bird. Khaal.
Everyone's very pleased and happy with your performance. Slate he kind of nods his, oh, you caught me off guard there. I'll have you next time, though. He doesn't feel too bad about it. It's a friendly sport. You can tell he's like, shit, I really look stupid here, but he's trying to be a good sport about it all. And the leader, the kind of the ringleader dwarf will grab your hand and hold it in the air. He's much shorter than you, so he kind of grabs your elbow and props it up a little bit. And he goes, "Call everyone. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of him. You're gonna do great things, Cole." And he'll take a pin out of his pocket that has it looks like a crude it looks like a drawing of like a fist is what it's supposed to be. And you go, "Hey, Cole, this is how you can get to the club without any hassles. You show this to the man at the front, he'll let you right in. This is our first rank. You're a grunt now."
Excellent. This is a lot of fun. I like you guys.
Yeah. We like you too, Cole. I'm excited to see how you fare next time. Maybe an opportunity to rise up in the ranks. We'll see. I'll see what I can put together. Would you be interested in doing another one of these small little contests next time? You did so well first time.
Oh,
I don't
certainly.
imagine anyone here could beat you.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. And he'll kind of give you another pat on the back. He'll say, again, he'll reiterate the meeting times for the club. It's every 2 days at midnight at this tavern. So he'll kind of again clap his hands, get everyone's attention. Oh, that's it for night, folks. We got some extra bit of excitement with the first show match from Cole. He's agreed to do another tournament, another little contest for us next time. Be back here in 2 days, everyone. And don't forget your money if you want to make a little bit of coin. And yeah, he'll kind of just disperse everybody, and everyone will kind of on their own walk out of the room and be as they are. You totally crushed this guy. I didn't think he was going to do that badly, but he rolled very badly, and you rolled very well. So
I came into it fresh and hot, and I'd been rested. This whole escapade didn't injure me as much as the others, so I feel like I was a little bit ready for some action.
All right, excellent. We'll go ahead and put your personal story on hold there and head back to Mendax. Mendax, it is the same night that we left off on. Smiggles is finished puking his guts out and returns. He's looking a little green. The other dwarf has just been chit-chatting with you, talking about, all the different types of ale and alcoholic beverages that are available in the city and what they have here specifically. And yeah, Smiggles will come back. And you're like, wow, you can really hold your beer.
Obviously. And you know what else I can hold? My sausage. And I would like to be compensated for the sausage you stole. We'll talk about it later. I've not forgot. Smiggles, you dirty sausage thief.
He'll say, fair enough. I thought maybe you had some performance enhancers slipped in there or something, and I can see that clearly that's not true. Rest up for the night. Come meet us here tomorrow, and we'll take you to our boss.
Okay.
I think you'll be interested in what we've got going on.
I'm very interested. Before we part ways, those Smiggles, I feel kind of bad, but he's passed the fuck out on the table. So I feel like I could ask now, what's your friend's name? I'd totally forgotten.
He'll like look at his friend. He'll scratch his head for a second, and he'll like he's passed out on the table, right? He'll grab his hair and lift his head up to look at his face, and then he'll kind of just let it go and drop his head back down on the table. And I go, oh, that's Deacon. He's a fucking idiot.
Poor Deacon. I'm gonna try to gently pat his head, but I've had ale, so I probably smack the shit out of the back of his head. But as gingerly as I can, I would like to touch the back of Deacon's head.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of we'll call it hard pet,
Yes,
a cat.
I would...
Like,
Smiggles, it'd be really funny though.
What's that?
Is if
Leave it.
we took his shoes. If we took his shoes while he's passed out, and then he'll wake up and he won't know where they're at, and I'll have the shoes.
Huh? I mean, if that's your thing or something, I don't really care. This guy owes me gold anyways. You can take the bastard shoes.
You check his pockets for gold. And I'm going to take his shoes.
He'll kind of shrug and he'll go, he'll pay me back. I don't need to take it from him. He's an idiot, but he's an honest idiot. Well, kind of. It's complicated.
Okay, that's fine. You do you. I'm still going to take his shoes, though. Fair? Fair.
Whatever.
So I'd
yeah,
like to
you take his.
shoes.
Okay, sure. You go to take his shoes. You can see he's actually only wearing one.
What the fuck is wrong with... Okay, well, one fucking shoe does me no good, but I'm going to take the shoe off, and then I'm going to chuck it across the room.
Okay, yeah, sure. Give me a dexterity check. Let's see how well this throw goes.
I'm very upset about this. 7 + 6 is a 13.
Okay, yeah, you take the shoe and you chuck it into some random corner. You see, and it hits the head of a dwarf who is sitting at the table. And he kind of stands up and he rubs the back of his head and he turns around. He was kind of sitting like picnic table seating, if you will. And there's a guy, like he's sitting on one end over here. There's a guy sitting behind him, and he'll push him. He'll go, "What the fuck for?" And then they'll start kind of getting into it, and a bar fight will ensue very quickly.
Okay, at that point, I would like to skedaddle out the front door.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. You make it out very quickly, and you do so kind of just in time, as the entire bar has now become this overly loud ruckus of a fight.
Neutral good, everybody.
Well, I'm drunk. I wasn't aiming for his head. It just happened.
Smiggles, who are you talking to? What is happening?
She's talking to her
Smiggles.
conscience right now.
Shh! I'm talking to the one on this shoulder. The one on this one. This one's done enough talking.
He'll say, "Are you gonna be all right? Like, getting back to wherever you are you gonna be all right?"
Smigs. Can I call you Smigs? I'm going to call you Smigs. Smigs.
No.
I'm fine. Smigs, we're good. I'm good. Where are we meeting up tomorrow so that I can meet your boss?
Yeah, just at this bar tomorrow, mid-morning. We'll make it late morning.
I was going to say mid-morning. You already threw up. Let's be realistic about things. Let's say late morning, luncheon at latest.
He'll go, "Are you sure you're okay?"
Okay, I don't accept your judgment, Smigs. Don't accept it. I'm fine.
All right.
No.
Good
I'm
luck. And he'll turn around. You can tell he doesn't like being called Smigs. He'll leave and walk off.
He'll get used to it. We're such good friends. I can call him Smigs. No one else can, but I can still call him Smigs.
Oh, is that how it works?
Absolutely.
What would you like to do at this point?
Okay. Can I tell what time it is?
No.
Is there a theater in town?
You have no idea.
I would like to go to a central location at this point. And I would like to start... I'm going to head back towards where my rooms are. But I would like to stop in a central location and start reciting lines from plays.
Okay. Give me a D4 for what direction you think central is.
I got a 3.
Okay, so we'll do that as west. You head what you think is west. As far as you can tell, this is the absolute correct pathway to go back to your room. While you're walking to the quote-unquote central location of the city, you are reciting lines from just completely different plays that have nothing to do with each other. Some of them you're pretty sure, even with how drunk you are, that you made up, but they sound pretty good to you, so why shouldn't you recite them? Somewhere along the way, give me a Constitution save.
Uh, 10 plus 3, 13.
All right, you go to sleep, just at some random location, and you knock out hard. It is, I guess, a restful sleep, but you're literally sleeping on rocks and concrete. So yeah, you sleep for some approximate amount of hours. Let's see how long that is. You sleep for at least 11 hours or so. And you wake up the next afternoon, actually. You are you kind of pushed yourself between two stairways that are leading up to a shop. You're in between two trash bins, and you've cuddled up with some newspaper or some random cloth scraps and paper. But you're awake. Give me another Constitution save. Let's see how that head's doing.
I got a 1 plus 3, which is a 4.
All right, it's pretty rough. It's not doing well. Again, you open your eyes. To you, the hustle and bustle of the city, the normal noise of people just walking about their daily lives, is just absolutely piercing. And you, the lights that actually haven't left, because there is literally a waterfall of lava in the middle of the city that they don't just turn off. The lights now are assaulting your eyes, which cannot dilate and focus correctly at the moment. So it is extremely bright, which makes your head feel even worse.
God. Damn it. Okay. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Wait, wake your fucking ass up, Bendax. You've had worse. Okay, I would like to push myself up out of the garbage and see if I can't get my bearings as to where the hell I am.
You can't tell. You've not really walked around the entire city, so this is still a very foreign place to you. But you can't tell exactly where you are. It's going to take you probably a solid 15, 20 minutes in your state to actually figure out oh, okay, you know where you're at. So you take the time. You're very, very, very slow at progressing. Everything hurts. Your head hurts. Your eyes hurt. Your stomach hurts. You're just very unhappy and uncomfortable right now. But after about 20 minutes or so, you figure out that you've gone to the south side of the city that you have not been to before. And you get your bearings, and you can kind of figure out, and you start recognizing some areas. You see the two golden statues now, and you're, okay, now you know kind of exactly where you're at. So, yeah, you can tell you slept for a very long time, but you don't know exactly what time it is.
Are there any people passing by that I could...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, could I just gently call out to the nearest person? Excuse me, but could you tell me what time it is and also what day?
Well, we're just gonna go and say they have regular weekdays. He'll say it's Friday. It's early afternoon.
Oh shit. Can you point me in the direction of the tavern closest to the large statues. I don't remember the name.
He'll like this is like 11 o'clock on a Friday. Someone who is clearly still probably a bit drunk is asking where the tavern is. He'll, yeah, it's that way. And he'll point towards, you know, the like northwest end of town. Probably is
Thank
that
you,
one.
good sir. The gentleman and a scholar, and I would like to slowly and cripplingly walk off in that direction to find the tavern because I've got to meet up with Smigs.
Yeah, you stumble off in the way that befits someone who just drank some hardcore dwarven ale. And you, in a zigzag motion, make it to the tavern, which you still have failed to collect the name of. You kind of stumble inside and catch yourself on a chair nearby, and Smigs is standing at the table, and he'll go, "Oh, fucking finally! We're late. We've got to go. Come on. I was just about to leave without you."
Okay, first, stop yelling at me. And secondly, okay, but help me up first. Also, do you have a water?
He'll like kind of wave at the barkeep. He'll get you a water. He'll give it to you. He'll wait for you to drink it. He'll be that nice. And say, "We really gotta go though. We're like super late. If they haven't started it already, I'll be surprised."
Okay, thank you. I just needed the water. Let's go.
Okay, give me a Constitution save and a Dexterity save. Actually, give me the Dex save in a second. Let's see what you get on your con save first.
Okay, the con is a 19, 16 plus 3, so 19.
Okay, that's
And
pretty
the
good.
dex
So you can make a Dex save without any disadvantage.
is a 7, but plus 6, so it's a 13.
All right, you're able to walk around at a decently humanoid-looking level. You still struggle a little bit, but you're able to walk around unassisted, and that's a big accomplishment for you right now. Yeah, he'll kind of see that you're able to support yourself, and he'll start walking off towards the south end of the city, actually, the direction that you were coming from. And he'll lead you more again to the sort of domicile ring of the city. You can tell that the south side of the city, there's no like slums of the city, but if there was going to be some like back alley looking area, it's the south end of the city. He kind of leads you through some abandoned buildings, and eventually you come up to what looks to be like a house that's embedded into the walls of the city. And he'll take out a key ring and he'll unlock the door. Come on. Again, we're fucking late. We've got to go. and he'll like usher you in. It's not like dark, but it's very dimly lit. Again, it's dusty. It doesn't look like anyone's really kept the house up to date at all. And he will lead you up the stairs and to another pair of doors, and he'll open those doors, and you'll step inside what is like a fairly decently sized looking common room at the second level of this house. In there's probably about maybe 15 people or so. Several of them are just kind of hanging around on the different furniture. This room does look a little bit more kept up with, it's not as dusty. There's no cobwebs like there were downstairs. It looks like people actually care about this room. Everyone is their own brand of ruffian, if you will. They all look like outlaws, essentially, right? They don't look like a nice person that would work at a flower shop. Several of them have scars. Some of them are missing hands. Many of them have different types of tattoos. You recognize a couple of them as some different thieves guilds, and even some that bear the mark of like hired killers and things like that. So you are at this moment in a room with probably several wanted people in the world. But Smigs, as he so endearingly decided to call him, will go, okay, well, no, like, they ain't started yet.
I thought I was just. I just want to whisper. I thought I was just meeting one person. They ain't started what exactly, Smigs?
And he'll like start explaining to you. He's like, oh yeah, they're going to. It's time for the contest. And he looks like he's going to start and say more, but at that moment, the other set of doors on the opposite end of the room open up, and a very well-clad figure in sort of like more of like a trench coat style, very dark gray, kind of uniform almost looking, steps into the room. Everyone kind of quiets down a little bit. He has like wrappings around his face, almost like, I mean, I guess like a mummy is kind of the best way to put it. They're all like a black and dark gray. You can't see any detail of his face, and he has like a hat on, like a I do not know hat types, but he has a hat on. Use your imagination.
Is it a bowler? Is it a pork pie?
I am not going to answer that
Is
question.
it a top?
I don't know.
Is it a cloche?
He has a top hat on because that's
Is he
a hat
wearing an
type I know.
ascot?
No, he's not. No ascot on this guy.
Okay.
He steps into the room and he goes, welcome, gentlemen and ladies alike, to the annual, well, contest, I guess is the best word for it. Pleased you all could make it. I see some new faces. I see some returning faces from last year. This one's proven to be quite a fun tournament for us all to have to liven up the off months, you know, when there's not as many we'll say guild missions for us to do. It's kind of dead, stale. It's a bit boring, if you will, but that's the whole reason why we started this damn thing. Who here is unfamiliar with the annual thievery?
I'm going to look around and wait to see if anybody else raises their hand. Does anyone else raise their hand?
That's a good question. Yes.
I don't want to out myself.
Like 2 other people raised their hands.
Okay, after they raise their hands, I raise mine, but just a little bit, like, you know, like.
Okay. Sure. He'll go, fantastic. Welcome to all the new bloods. I'm sure you've all been vetted quite extensively by, other members of the guild. If you don't know who I am, well, let me very quickly introduce myself. My name is Decigi. I am the leader of our local band of bandits and thieves, misfits and rogues all alike, and I welcome you to the humble home we've made here in Tol Karabat. If I do say so myself, it's quite a homely place to be. So welcome to you, all of you, whether or not you are, whether you have been with us before or not. But let's get right to it. Yes, it is time for the annual thievery. And for those of you who aren't familiar, or for those of you who forgot, I will go over the rules now. This is our annual contest, of course. 7th year in a row that we've done it while evading the long arm of the law. Or if you're here, short arm, I guess. And that gets a few chuckles for everyone. Some forced laughs. You go, right. We're not here for my cracking jokes. We're here for the start of the tournament. As you all know, this is a tournament that takes place over 2 weeks, the objective of which is to steal the most valuable item you can without getting caught. Whoever steals what is deemed to be the most valuable item to us here in the guild is the winner. Congratulations to our last year winner. And he'll kind of motion to some random figure in the back of the room. It's another female. If she's a human, she kind of does a low bow. And he'll continue on with the rules for the contest. So you get the sense that this is something that they do every year to kind of keep themselves entertained. while they have nothing to do. And he'll go over the contest rules. He says, right, rule number 1, and we have had some people break this rule, so I don't want to see this one broken again. No murdering. Stop murdering people. We're not assassins, we're thieves. That's the whole point of this damn contest. It's to steal, not to kill, okay? If you want to go kill someone, you can go up north and go join one of their murdering contests. That's not why we're here, okay? Rule number 2. They only can submit one item. I don't care if it's a whole collection. You have to qualify one item to turn in as your entry for the contest. Rule number 3. As always, the value of this item will be determined by fences. I don't care if you think it's worth 10,000 gold. If we determine it's worth 50, that's what it's going to be valued at. Rule number 4. You are disqualified if you are caught, arrested, or if you do break rule number 1. And rule number 5, whoever turns in the highest value item is the winner. And this year, he'll kind of do a little like drum roll on the table. We have a bag of vanishing powder. Ooh, vanishing powder. And people actually do kind of perk up at that. You being a thief and a rogue are familiar that this is a really sought after item for thieves, rogues, assassins, no-gooders, no-gooders, I guess that's a word, in general. It provides temporary invisibility for the user. It does have a maximum number of charges, but it's a very expensive item to get your hands on, so you want one of those.
Oh, how do we get the vanish? How do we get that powder? I'm whispering this to Smigs.
Okay, he'll say, well, I mean, you got to win the contest. That's how it works, right?
Oh, that's the prize. I thought he was just offering it as part of the contest. Like,
no, why would he?
And then get at the contest. Well, I don't know. Sometimes people, you know, when you run track, some people have the inner lane. Okay, some people are a little bit further ahead. I'm just saying.
No.
So that's the prize.
That's
understood.
The prize. You got it. You're following along. Are you sure you're okay?
Spigs, I swear to God, if you ask me that one more time, I will vomit on your shoes.
Listen.
Second of all,
fair enough.
What did the human girl who won last year? What did she steal?
He said, or he kind of looks back at her. She stole the fucking crown. So I don't know how we're gonna top that this year.
From fucking Stumpy.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay, that's doable.
Decision will kind of quiet down everyone. I know we're all in a clamor here. But them's the rules. Any questions? Any questions? No? Yes? No? All right, everyone looks like they're good. Fuck off then. You got 2 weeks to turn in your item, and good luck.
No, damn, Smigs. I do have a follow-up question. And I don't think he'll answer it, but Smigs.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn in your item, say, I was stealing something better than the crown tomorrow, and I turned it in. Is there a public listing of the items turned in? Or does everyone just find that out at the end of 2 weeks? So if, like, could I come back and check and go, hey, who's turned in things? And he'll go, oh, the highest level item is a toe ring. And I'll go, oh, well, fuck, I can beat that. Or is it going to be like, oh, it's, again, another crown, and it's been blessed by 17 priests. And you go, oh, okay, well, I can't fucking beat that. Like, will I know? Is there a public listing or no information?
He'll go, it's a no information. You have to use your own resources. Gather whatever information you can on your own. Use your contacts. Use whatever means you need to. So long as they don't break the rules, you're good.
Tertiary question.
What?
Okay, I've got first, need you to check your attitude. And then second of all, the question is, what happens to the items? Do we still get to keep those items? Or do they become property of the guild?
He says, they're turned in. The winner, you get half the sum as per the normal fencing rules that you turned it in for.
Okay, so you lose the item, you just get half of the amount.
Yeah, that's just and that's a fairly common. You get like half of what it's worth usually when you turn it into a fence. You get about 50% of its value, but they
Sure.
take essentially a stolen hot item from you. So they,
Right, because
the
they
only
need
people
to,
who will buy these.
yeah, they need to make a profit off of it. It's like Pawn Stars. I've watched
There
it.
you go. You got it. It's exactly like Pawn Stars.
Okay, but you lose the item. You don't
lose the item.
don't get to keep it. Okay, that was my question. All right, I think I'm good now. I think I've got it. Yeah, I think we could fucking make this happen.
All right. Great. We'll go ahead and pause your story there. And let me take a look at something real quick. I'll just ask you guys, how are we doing on time? This is normally about our stopping time. I don't want to keep you guys past, any commitments you guys have, but we can try to go to another Nigel and Call segment, or we can just hold it there and get to it next time.
I am chill. I am ready to nige. Nigel's ready to nige.
Yes,
Okay. Call me next.
I'm good to go. I've got nothing. So other than perhaps maybe having to piddle at some point, but other than that, nothing.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So yeah, we'll go through another segment of your guys' kind of personal adventures or whatever you'd like to call them, and then we'll probably maybe call this session there for the night. Nigel, we'll head back to you then. We'll pick back up where you left off. You followed around Bumblemore McStumblefumble, and he has not really led you to any sort of clues or anything. You have expended your 2 uses of invisibility for the day, as those are all of the level 2 spell slots that you have available.
Hells to the air. So he led me back to the library. Can I approach him again?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Hey, good to see you again. It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been about that, hasn't it? It feels longer, to be honest. But time flies sometimes. Hey, random thought. Do you want to check out this mirror? And I'm going to pull out my Ghost Babe mirror, and I'm going to see if he has a reflection in it.
He does not. Looks like a pretty broken mirror to me.
Okay. Thought something special might happen there. I guess not. By the way, you seem like a worldly fellow who knows a lot about things. Do you know anything about silver spoons?
He'll go, well, yeah, of course, I'm an expert in silver spoons.
Well, I have to be very careful. This is very valuable, but could you examine this and tell me, do you see anything special about this spoon?
Did you pull this out of your pants, right?
Oh, yes. I pull it out of my breeches. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, no, out of your crotch.
Oh. Okay. He'll take it from you. He doesn't care. Ooh, this is a very fine spoon, a very fine specimen. Where did you pick this up from? It's quite a beauty.
It's a mystery. I can't actually tell you. It's a very well guarded secret. I'll get in a lot of trouble if I tell you where I found this. Suffice to say, I have reason to believe it has great magical properties.
Magical properties, you say? And he'll do the same thing he did to the rock, which is he'll like smell it and bite it. And go, I don't know if it does have any magic on it. Not like the rock you gave me before.
Oh, Well, thanks for taking a look at it. Could I have it back now, please?
Yes. Do be careful. It's quite a nice spoon you've got here. Would you like
Yes.
to see my spoon collection?
Sure, please do show me, and I'm gonna polish the spoon off and try to get his saliva off it before
Yeah,
putting it back in my pants.
he'll pull 4 spoons out of his pants. And he'll go, look, I picked this one up in the spoon store, the silverware store. And he'll pull up another spoon, and he'll just give you he'll just tell you a little detail about each of them. They're all old looking and like some things that you would find like random antique stores, maybe. Gee, you want to see?
I think I've found my people. This is beautiful. I think your spoon collection is actually one of the finest things I've ever seen.
And he'll go, yeah, I've been working on it for a while. I don't mean to brag.
Ah. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I better get back to trying to find that magical store using that map of yours. I did have one small question.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yes?
cat
Which what?
on the map it says cat? In between drunk hair and secret. Which cat
Oh.
am I looking for?
I don't know. I was never able to find the store.
But, so you didn't make this map?
No, I found it in a book.
Wow. That's quite enriching. I started this adventure here, meeting you and going down this beautiful adventure of trying to find this store. And at the time, I was quite lost and downtrodden in my work. But suddenly, it seems like delving through dry manuscripts and transcripts and books actually seems like a much more exciting and productive use of my time. So, unfortunately, Bumbledore, I must leave you and get back to my work. But it's been great making your acquaintance. And yes, do you need any help getting your wand fixed, by the way? I did notice it does look a little broken before I go.
And he'll pull the wand out, and he'll do like another little cantrip. And he'll do some fireworks in the air that says, "Nope, it's fine."
Well, it looks quite
Thanks,
fun.
though. Oh yes, it works very well.
Not
Good
to be
luck with your
outdone,
research, young man.
I'm also going to shoot some shiny lights out, and it's going to look twice as awesome as his. I'm going to make it much shinier, more bright lights, and go, cool.
He'll go, "Well, that's pretty good. Let me know if you need some tips, though."
What would I need tips for?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's just that was pretty good, but I've been doing this a long time, so like my fireworks are really good.
They were quite good. Well, thank you. It was good meeting you. I'll talk to you later, and I'm going to walk away.
Bye. And he'll leave.
Yes, I'm going to go back to the books now, and if I happen to come across anything that can help improve my illusion magic at the same time, I may go on a slight sidetrack to make sure I can make prettier fireworks in future. But other than that, I'm going to just go back and continue my research and see if I've kind of had something sparked after this very enlightening diversion. See if my brain has in some way found a way, and if I can find a way to get to that memory on the edge of my consciousness of trying to remember exactly what I've read in the past about this sorts of battery and essence storing metals.
Yeah. You delve back into your research in your books. We'll say that kind of another few days pass by. You do take some breaks to you take a break from studying this material to do some illusion studying as well. You make sure that your form is perfect. You really pride yourself on your illusions. You become a little bit of a snob about it. You kind of, I don't know what the hell that guy was talking about. And you kind of continue on that direction. You feel like you're getting closer, but you're just having a really just still a difficult time focusing and figuring out what that reference was. You know it, you've kind of narrowed it down. You know it's something that you read or heard or you just don't know exactly what in the tower that you lived in though. So you know this isn't something that you heard out and about in the world. You've been going for, let's say, another few days on this. You've learned quite a bit as far as the failed attempts to create kind of any sort of vessel that does a lot of essence capturing. There's not a whole lot of books. You've kind of exhausted a lot of the literature that the Dwarven Library has. They don't have a very extensive kind of catalog of books on this specific topic. So you have now gone back to kind of reading your own notes about it, writing down notes of your own as you feel like you're trying to almost research this topic yourself, and going through different mental exercises to try to like recall that information that you have forgotten, essentially. 3 days later, as you're sitting at your table, a cat jumps up on the table.
Ah. Hello? Meow.
I'm not gonna meow.
Meow.
Cat. There you go.
Meow.
Perfect.
That's I'm saying that to the cat until it meows back at me.
It doesn't do anything. It just kind of walks around the table.
Hmm. Hello, cat. I will pat the cat.
Yeah, it's like it's a friendly cat. It'll sit and yeah, it's okay. It's great.
I'm going to examine my ring. It still has the symbol of a spider on it, right?
Yes.
I'm going to once again try and Spider-Man, but this time the cat. And
When you say Spider-Man, you're trying to like
trying
web
to like
attack.
web attack or like poison it or paralyze it or something. I don't know. I'm just seeing if the ring's going to do something. Hopefully not fatal, but
Okay.
the cat wouldn't meow to
Um,
me, so I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You try to like activate. You're like you're trying to do different like whatever to get it to go. And you pour a bit of energy into the ring, and you do feel something start to kind of hum or resonate within the ring as you dedicate some of your energy to it.
Ooh. I'm going to try and touch the ring onto the cat gently. See if it does anything.
Yeah, the cat is kind of just staring at you and looks now very bored. You like approach the cat's face like very slowly. As you get right up next to it, the cat speaks. It says, "What are you doing?"
Talking to a cat? I mean, I was trying to potentially paralyze you using spider magic harnessed in a ring, which I'm not really sure how it works, but I wasn't really sure you were sentient. I thought you were just, a street cat, and I wasn't going to be doing any harm or anything, and I'm not really sure how this thing works. How are you speaking?
So you just go around and torture random animals? Does that sound about right? That's pretty weird.
It wasn't torture, experiment. I was simply trying to figure out how this worked, and I figured it needed maybe a living vessel to transfer the energy. And I mean, you can't judge me. You're a cat. I've seen what cats do. You hunt mice and kill them, then you drag it out to the owner and go, hey, look, and you leave it there. You don't even eat it. You go and eat other food instead. You probably hang out in the garbage. Ugh. Your love life probably involves a lot of your family. I've seen cat behavior. It's disgusting.
Well,
You
you're a
can't
very
judge me.
judgmental person. He'll the cat will kind of stretch its onto the table. And it doesn't seem like you're doing a very good job with your research. You don't seem like very good of a human.
I'm I'm an all right human. I'm not terrible. I wouldn't say I'm great. I'm still rather
Well, you
confused though. How are you speaking? Are you actually a cat? Are you? Is there an illusion here? I mean, you felt like a regular cat when I touched you. How do you speak?
yeah, you can roll an arcana.
+5, I think. So that's 19. 19.
Yeah, you know for sure that this cat is magic. It is no ordinary cat. He does not like you very much though, and he'll respond, I'm speaking the same way you're speaking.
Well, I mean, no offense, but normally cats aren't exactly. They don't have the same brain capacity as humans. Physiologically speaking, they've evolved differently as a simpler order of creatures. I assume you've been magically altered in some way, but I mean, do you live here? Are you part of this library? Can you do magic, or can you just talk? What's your name?
My name? Steven.
That's a rather ordinary name, Stephen. My name's Nigel. I'm sorry that we got off on the wrong foot. I've been very frustrated here with my studies, as you pointed out. I haven't been making progress. I've been in here. My leg still feels like crap, and it smells like an old man's medicine collection for his special time. It's terrible, and it's really off-putting, and I'm rather frustrated. I'm sorry I've got a short fuse right now. Please forgive me.
Well, that's better. Yes, I can gather you seem to be pretty frustrated. What are you reading, anyways?
I'll show him the book. Which exact book am I reading right now?
Yes, I can talk. I cannot read, Nigel.
You can't read? Oh.
No.
Well, this is.
Yeah,
I
it's
will.
some random. Yeah. The status of rocks and where they came from.
Magical
Yeah, it's some,
reservoirs, an experiment in storing virility.
yeah, and the cat will kind of. That sounds dull even for your kind. All right, well, I'm bored. Take care, Nigel. And he'll jump off the table and walk away.
See you, Stephen. Hope to talk later. Am I going crazy reading these books, or is this the weirdest library I've ever been in? First, a homeless magician, bloody stumbling around, giving me. Apparently, he also keeps spoons down with his giblets. Now a talking cat, and bloody don't even know if I'm awake or asleep anymore. This place is an absolutely bizarre place. Can I still feel the energy in the ring?
It has dissipated some after you've stopped focusing on it and you turned your attention to Steven the cat.
Okay. Can I try to do that again?
Yeah. For you, it feels very much so like when you expend energy on a spell. Are you going to devote as much energy as you do for that? You can kind of like play in between, not quite charge as much. What do you want to do? You going like full bore?
A full first level spell.
Okay.
Roughly that sort of level.
Yeah, so you sort of pour some energy into this ring, and it almost like you can feel it reacting to your focus. And as you do so, from the ring itself, it coats your hand in like a layer of what looks like green kind of like toxin or venom, and it starts to
Ooh.
like drip off of your hand onto the table. It looks like essentially like a pool of it is appearing in the palm of your hand, almost like from nowhere. And it's sort of like you're like
I'm gonna protect the books. I'm kind of just gonna let it start to drip on the floor next to me, next to the table. Um, does it seem like it's? And I'm just gonna observe. So one hand dripping poison, the other one taking notes. How long does it last? I'm going to observe. Does it damage or corrode the floor? It does look like a poison, and I want to see if it's a truly created kind of summoned object, or if it's more of a temporary, something which is just going to disappear over time.
Yeah, where the toxin or venom, poison, whatever you want to call it at this point, drips on the floor, there is an audible kind of hiss and crackle, and it looks like the stone in the ground is kind of dented where it's hitting, and it's almost like, you know, kind of creating more of a rough texture. It's not like corroding through the ground immediately, but you could tell it's definitely having an effect on it. Um, the whole experience lasts maybe like 5, yeah, well, we'll say like 10 seconds or so. No, I'm sorry, like 5 seconds or so. After which the poison stops pooling on your hand. And like it doesn't disappear, but it does start to kind of fade away and roll off like onto the ground.
Well, that was educational. Um, all right. Turns out I can use magical power and channel that into this in order to do it. Um, I'm going to see if I can simply repeat the same process again with this exact same
uh
amount of energy.
yeah, you try to do so, you cannot. It's sort of almost like it is
Yeah.
rejected.
All right. We'll have to try again tomorrow. Cool. Well, at least I know how to make use of this now. Though I'm not sure if my non-magical friends will be able to. Hmm.
For the record, you have not expended any additional spell slots.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I'm gonna kind of go cool. I can make poison, eat some food, and then go back to reading and trying to figure out what the hell these rings are actually made of. Since using it still gives me absolutely no idea of how to take it off. Back to the research.
Okay, yep, you go back to the research and kind of nose to the grind or nose to the page, if you will. We'll go ahead and pause your progress there and we'll head over to Call. Call, my friend, you had a fun night with your new buds doing an arm wrestling tournament that you did not expect uh, uh, from the note, but that's over with and done. You head to sleep for the night. Is there anything you want to do kind of in between that?
I would like to meditate some upon the technique. They did mention the technique and finesse was fairly important. I would recollect the arm wrestling match that I took part in, and also differences in my future opponents, if I have some, and how they will have thumbs, and that will be different.
Yes, you take extra note that your first opponent that you absolutely demolished did not have any thumbs, and that was probably not a very good disadvantage for him. Um, you think about the technique of how to do an arm wrestling champ like match, but you're kind of like practicing, let's say, for the next day, just like thinking about, you are a martial combat class. You've been in quite a lot of fights in your life. You know how to leverage strength. You know how basic physics work. Even if you don't know the science behind it, you understand, how to gain an advantage over your opponent, how to get weapons out of their hands. You've had grappling fights before, so you kind of are trying to rely on those skills as well. We'll say you take the day to do that, and it is now the day of the next meeting of, we'll call it, the Brawlers Guild, if you will. Do you, again, anything special, or are you just going to try to again, keep practicing and go over your technique to try to yeah.
I would, before I leave my quarters for the morning, I would like to glance over at my scythe, kind of quizzically, and then I would like to quickly look away, but then look back at it really quick.
Yeah, it has not moved, nor does it look any different.
Okay. I would like to repeat that process one more time, just nonchalantly looking away. Oh, what's that over there in the corner? But then look right back at it.
Yeah, it is exactly still there. It is either extremely fast or it is not doing anything at all. You're not quite sure.
Okay. It's very convincing. I would like to go over to it.
Okay.
And
you do so.
I would like to pick it up, take it in my hands, and think about what happened last time it did that amazing Bat Raven thing.
Yeah, you want to essentially activate it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you understand the theory behind activating magic items. You have had some experiences in the past with again, very mundane, but that do require an activation. Essentially, the process is you focus like energy on it, whether that means you're relying on your strength, or you're just relying on your mental capacity itself. You pour in some amount of your own energy into this item, and that's how essentially magic items activate. So you want to do that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. It will teleport you to a unoccupied square within 30 feet. Are you in your room?
Yes.
All right. Where in your room do you want to be?
I would like to be outside the door. Can I go through things?
No.
Oh.
You have to see it.
Well, I would like to teleport to the opposite side of the room.
Okay, yeah, you pour in energy into this item. You do grasp like the basics of what it did last time. It shot you forward. And a very similar situation happens once again. Almost like onyx stone looking crows appear and like cloud around you, and then in one instant you're standing next to your bed, and the next those crows appear in that square on the other side of the room, and there you are.
That is awesome. My halberd couldn't do this. I would like to feel rather accomplished and puffed up. My chest is out a little bit more, and I would like to put it back down.
All right, you do so on the opposite side of the room.
Yes.
Yep.
That is very good. I would like to go to the Brawlers convention.
Sure. You take the day again, kind of lounging, practicing, eating some different food and such. So you kind of just relax. You try to rest your arm. You're not quite sure what's going to what you're expected to do tonight. But at midnight, you head back to that same tavern. And you want to just head back there immediately, or are you going to check in? How do you want to accomplish that?
Yes, I would like to go in the tavern and also just kind of take one beverage, nothing too super strong, but basically to assess the playing field and see if there are any people who I might see as major competitors.
Yeah, you head there a bit before midnight. He said that they start around 11 or so. You do see some familiar faces, but not too many. You assume that a majority of the people are probably already down in the basement. From the people you recognize from the last time you were here, it's a handful of dwarves. Their names you didn't get. It's a handful of humans. No one in particular that looks like they're that much of a competitor.
Okay. Well, then I would like to proceed down the back way. I do have my pin still. So I think
Yes,
I
you
can
do.
present that to the barkeep or something.
Oh yeah, he'll just kind of give you a nod, and you can proceed down the hallway and down the stairs once again, past the false door and into the room with everyone else. There are not as many people there right now, as it looks like it is kind of just starting, and people are kind of walking in at random times. That ringleader dwarf will come up to you. Cole, glad you could make it again.
It's good to be here. I had a good time last time. Looks like I'll be ready for the main event, not coming in after.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We've got some nice competitors tonight. How are you feeling, champ?
Feeling strong, feeling pretty solid. Ready
All
to
right,
test
you think
myself.
you're up for a bit of competition yourself then?
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Well, sit back for now. Enjoy the festivities. If you brought any money with you, you're more than welcome to gamble it. If you didn't, just sit tight, and I'll come get you when it's your time.
I blew all my money on potions.
Okay. And he'll kind of like, yeah, whatever, sounds good. And he'll go back to what he's doing. It looks like he's like the organizer of the ring, if you will. And he'll introduce various different like they call them fights that are happening. The first couple are two different dwarves that kind of are going at the arm wrestling. The next one is a human that's going against actually a gnome. A very interesting matchup there. You're taking particular notes as you're watching about, again, the form, the sort of technique. You see that one thing a lot of people do is actually like hold the side of the table with their other hand. That doesn't seem to be against the rules, but try to get more leverage. It looks like it's really all about trying to just leverage the situation as best you can in your favor and get an advantage over your opponent and then swing them down. You understand the basic concepts of it. And finally, after the first few fights, the dwarf will stand up on the center table once again and go, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another special one tonight. Welcome back to the table. It's Khaal of the Kenku people.
Khaal,
And they'll go,
the bird.
yeah, Khaal. And he'll go, put your bets in now, put your bets in now. And his opponent tonight will be the mighty, the massive Krog, man-eater Krog. And they'll go, ooh, Krog, ooh. And from sort of the back of the crowd, this big orc will step through. And he'll kind of plop down on the other side of the table opposite of you. And he'll kind of like, he'll look menacingly at you.
I would like to sit very comfortably in my chair. Just giving him a good look.
Okay. So you're trying to play it cool. Understood. He will, the dwarf will try to get everyone wild up. You know, he's trying to get people to spend their money. It's going to be a show match like you've never seen before. Two titans fighting each other off in the true test of skill, test of strength, arm wrestling, mano y mano. And he'll like, put your bets in, ladies and gentlemen. Last call for your bets. And he'll collect and 10 on Krog, 5 on Khaal. You know, there are people that seem to be spectators of the sport that aren't really interested in partaking themselves, but they get a kick out of watching the fight, essentially. So he calls off all the bets, and he'll go, Khaal, you remember the rules?
Yes, I do.
And he'll go, all right, very good. And he'll go, Krog, you remember the rules? And Krog will just, and he'll slam his fist on the table. All right, Krog, very good. Arms up in the center. I want a good, clean match. Tie off or no?
No, I think we're gonna have a firm grip as it is.
He goes, very good. And Krog, you can kind of see there's like drool dripping down from his like teeth tusks. He is quite strong looking. He looks like he would be a fierce combatant on the battlefield. You're not sure how you'll do in this time. You're not intimidated. You know, you trust your strength, but you are definitely not like, okay, this is no Slate, no thumbs Marshall. This is the next step up. And he'll go, Cole, are you ready?
Give me one moment, please. Khaal, the Kenku, the barbarian.
And I would like to go into a rage. And in addition to being in a rage, I would like to, with the form of the demon, bring a little bit of extra fangs of my face, as though I were about to bite, though I have no intention of biting my opponent.
Okay, sure, absolutely. You do your little ramp, which people they kind of are now anticipating a bit, and you take on again. Your whole body kind of bulks up a bit more. You look a lot more intimidating. Your muscles kind of stretch, and you go into a rage. And the dwarf goes, very good, Cole. Krog, are you ready? And Krog will tighten his grip on your hand, and he'll kind of, and you can tell he goes into a rage of his own as his eyes kind of take on a more red appearance. And so you both are kind of like very brutally hulked up, leaned over and ready to go. And he goes, all right, Krog, then on 3, it's up to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And immediately you both enter a strength check. So let me get your first strength check.
19.
All right, and that's with advantage, so you do get the second one.
Second one is a 14.
All right, so 19 total, or is that not including your
Total.
strength bonus? Total, okay. Krog is able to keep up with you this time. It was not the slam dunk that it was against No Thumbs Marshall. It is a much more intense test of strength, as Krog is doing his best to gain an advantage over you. He kind of grabs the side of the table so that he can get better leverage. It goes off, and you guys are basically on a stalemate currently. Give me another strength check.
7. 22.
Damn, 22. You're slowly gaining an advantage over Krog, and he's like gritting his teeth. You can almost hear his jaw like cracking with how much pressure he's putting on his arm and how much strength he's pouring into this this competition. He'll let out another, and but he is starting to lose ground. Give me another strength check, Khaal.
19.
You're rolling really good.
9. So 19.
All right, you are still very much so winning this fight. The table itself, you're starting to kind of hear the groaning of like the wood as you're both like putting as much of your body weight onto that focal point of the table as you can. you're both pressing down into this competition. Both of your guys' fingernails are like digging into the back of the other person's hand. There is blood going down both of the back of your guys' hands as you're, but neither of you seems to really care all that much as you're just so intently focused on this test of strength. Give me one last strength check. Let me see if you can seal the deal, Khaal. Ooh, I don't know.
21! 21 twice.
All right. Krog this time is actually able to do a little bit better than you're doing, Khaal, whether it's the technique or whether he's just more used to how these matches go. He starts to push back on your hand. You feel that you're not so easily winning this one anymore. You redouble your strength. Both of your guys' arms are just like, looks like they're about to rupture. Give me another strength check.
11.
All right.
20.
Ooh, 20. The ground that you had lost from the sort of second wind that Krog felt has starting to be regained as the crowd starts cheering one direction or the other. There are shouts and screams for Khaal. There are encouragement for Krog. And people are starting to take the side of Khaal. Give me the final strength check to determine this match, Khaal.
A 5.
No.
6.
Oh my goodness. You both are now dead even at the center of the table. Give me a strength check with disadvantage. You are both at your limits. This is
Oh my.
14.
And what's the second one? So disadvantage, so you take the lowest one.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
14 was the lowest. I rolled higher.
All right. It comes down to a matter of just outlasting your opponent, essentially, as you don't slam his hand down on the table, but you slowly, very slowly push his hand down, and in almost like just a tap, you just tap his hand onto the back of the table, and the crowd erupts in cheers for Khaal. There are 4 nail imprints on the back of your hand, Khaal, where his nails dug into your skin and injured you. The same can be said for him. You are both you are exhausted. It's like you just fought a tremendous battle. You poured all of your energy, all of your focus and strength into this one test of skill. Krog he lets out a oh, good job. And he'll hold his hand out for you to shake.
I would like to connect with him a strong Roman handshake where you grab him by the forearm like this.
Yes, he will. You can tell he's extremely tired as well. And the crowd is going crazy. They are so excited to see their new champion kind of rising through the ranks. The dwarf will jump up on the table. He'll kind of wipe it down from the blood that's now on there from your guys' match, and kind of stick the towel back. Yeah, they were digging so hard on the back of each other's hands, right? There was it's not like a ton. Well, it doesn't. I mean, it can be just even a little bit longer, and it'll be enough to do it in this case. Regardless, he'll once again raise your hand up, Khaal, and go. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, Khaal, for the second time in a row, undefeated. Who can take this Kenku down? And he will, he'll sort of, everyone will cheer once again. And he'll hop off of the table and go over to the bookkeepers and come back to you. And he'll hand you a small like pouch of 20 gold, and he'll go, "Hey, go Cole, it's your winnings for the night." And he'll hand you another pin that has like a star that's above the fist, and you go, "In your new rank, you're an ogre now."
I'm actually a Kenku. You mean Ogre is the title?
Yes, you get it.
That's pretty cool. I like this
Good.
crew.
And he'll kind of sweep his hand to the audience, and it's very clear they like you. Go out there, Cole. Go meet him. Go meet the fanfare.
What's up?
And
What's
they'll-
up, Tol Caravan?
They'll all kind of cheer and congratulate you, and a couple of the other veteran arm wrestlers, they'll like give you some critiques on the style, and they'll tell you kind of how the game is played a little bit more, and sort of the theory behind how it all works. There are all kind of arm wrestling nerds, if you will, and they're very excited to
We've got plenty
to
of
talk to you.
backseat arm wrestlers here.
backseat arm wrestlers ready to go. And yeah, they'll eventually, you guys mingle and talk and have a good time. There's a couple other show matches, none of which are as exciting as the one that you played, but it's fun to watch. Everyone's having a good time. And yeah, midnight comes and they all kind of disperse back to their rooms. Is there anything particular you wanted to try to do, or are you just enjoying the night?
I would like to look over at the scythe again, and then look back slowly. Wait, but then look right back at it.
It is exactly where you left it the first time.
Okay, good. Now I would like to rest.
You do so. You have earned yourself a good sleep. You have received some bandages to the back of your hand. That's one thing they recommend is on those really intense brute fights. You should tape your hands. That's what all the pros do. Yeah, you go to sleep for the night, and I think that's honestly a pretty solid spot to end this week's session. We got through, the personal little adventures and stories, not all the way through for each character, but certainly a little bit of time. I'm excited to see how each of those develop and how you guys affect them. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Did you guys enjoy tonight's one? A little bit different from the main type of play.
You don't have to
Say it was
pass me. I'm a champion now.
We both won our respective contests, but honestly, I vastly enjoyed the library. I think more than anything, I laughed so hard I cried 2 different times. That library is lit as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, lots of
You like
people
the
just carry a
library?
lot of spoons around in their undies. That's what. It's just the library. Like, it's,
Bumble McStumble Fumble.
Bumble
It's
more
quite-
McStumble Fumble.
Yeah, he's probably the greatest character ever created.
What do you think?
I felt
But
like
I also
was
want to know
wondering.
more about this Susan.
Hmm.
Mysterious librarian.
I know. I feel like
Ooh.
we need to delve more into Susan's backstory, but that library is amazing.
Do we know? I like the
absolutely
library.
we do.
Yeah, all right.
Absolutely.
And Steven
I really
the
felt like I was
Talking Cat.
back in school again. There was like a deadline, and I'm just like, any excuse. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna follow him around the city invisible. Like, yeah, he's gonna be mysterious magic, and he's like, this dude wandering around in and out of stores doing random shit. I'm like, all right, I don't think anything mysterious is gonna happen, but I'm gonna cast another invisibility spell. And just follow him more. I'm like, just you never know.
I love it. I love it.
The random
Mystery.
schemer you follow around for hours, and the fucking magical talking cat, you're like, fuck off, go ahead, leave.
He's a bit of a dick.
Steven.
That's true.
Bumblebee was
Steven.
much more approachable.
Bumblebee was friendlier, but then again, you didn't try to tase Bumblebee.
That is true.
Yeah, that's also true. I'm just amazed after literally the second episode, we kind of can actually use the rings now. So that's exciting. Oh, DM just
Yeah,
been
a
like,
little-
"Wow, they didn't try to do anything with this at all. Idiots."
We did nothing but look
Hey,
at them
man.
occasionally.
That's okay. It's not like they're they're game-breaking artifacts or anything like that. I mean, that would be silly. Well, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed your at least the beginnings of we'll call them the personal adventures. Always fun to do rather a little bit of individual character building, and you know, not all of you have to be attached at the hip at every moment of the campaign. What does Mendax do when Khaal and Nigel aren't around? Well, now you get to find out. She takes place in stealing competitions, apparently, which are a thing. So
Apparently, and drinking
apparently.
competitions.
Yeah, you won the first one. Let's see if you can win the second
Slays
one.
them
Wow, so
as
it's the
if there
hid-
was ever any doubt.
the
Khaal,
hidden
how
side
did
of
you like?
Mendax. Who knew?
Yeah, I
This
know,
thing's
right?
been
How
drinking a lot of alcohol. That's brand new revelation.
Okay, I thought I'd done told you last episode. If there's one thing Mendax can do, it's take pants. If there's two things, it's take shoes. If there's three things, it's hold her alcohol. Done.
And watch
Smigs
the world burn
no
after
chance.
starting gigantic bar fights and then leaving. Yeah.
That's how one does. You know.
Bar fights
I
just
saw
spawn
the shit.
around you.
You know?
That's true.
I will say I was
How did-
rather split on my decision about this strength potion. I got a strength potion right before going into a strength contest, but it was almost all the gold that I had, so I was kind of deciding, would this be a proper time, or should I rely on my own personal strength and save this for when it counts for the team?
Well, you're gonna have to make that call on your own.
I didn't even think of that. What an honorable. We already knew Khaal is an exceptional birdbarian. And you didn't even juice. You didn't even need to juice to win this competition. Not at all. You won it off of your own rage, strength, and abilities. And I could not, admire you more for that, honestly. I didn't even think about the potion.
I mean, I think it just shows the honor, honestly. Because, I
Truly.
mean, after winning that, we saw the guns today, and I'm actually happy that we don't have to call you Khaal Armstrong, that you're not juicing your way through the competition. So,
Oh!
My God. This never ends. Never ends.
Well, ladies
Well,
and
I'm
gentlemen,
glad- Yeah.
not next Thursday, the Thursday after that, Wayfarers, the lucky number 13 will be back. The show has been incredible. Amazing players, amazing dungeon master, amazing work all around, artwork, production, what have you. And the chat, you're fantastic as well. We'll see you on the next episode of Wayfarers. Take care of yourselves.